Yeah. You vibes in the word. What a wait. Late night creeps where the shadows grin. Juvons in the cut, let the games begin. With a flick of the blade, we dive in the sin. It's a marathon groove, not a race to win. The clock don't sleep, the knives don't pause. Chasing thrills, no time for applause. The world spins mad on Juvon's claws, where the edge cuts deep in the night's great jaws. Sit and spin under the neon glow. Wide awake where the insomniacs go. Feel the steel flash, let the adrenaline flow. Juvon's night flicks, it's the live late show. It's the live late show. Right. It's the live late show. We're too sharp to dull, too fast to catch. Each blade is the spark making midnight hatch. In the zone we own on this Twitch dispatch, where the world sits still but the vibes still match. Time's a blur in the sleepless den. Every move's a twist, that slice in the zen. Juvon's got the rhythm, the pulse of man. Locked in the spin till the morning end. Sit and spin under the neon glow. Wide awake where the insomniacs go. Feel the steel flash, let the adrenaline flow. Juvon's night flicks, it's the live late show. With a wait, with a ride. It's the live late show. It's the live late show.
Welcome to Jump On's Night Flicks. 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 The live streams popping, the comments are rocking, and Insomniac's favorite, no need for them knocking. You are now in the sit and spin, I'm at it again. About to hit you with some slapping content. Look at my pocket, I got a piece of steel in it. Real knife lover, they be feeling it, giveaway winner. I hope that you reelin' it, about to take off like the top of a penmanship. Got an extensive collection, I'm giving them flips like a river. This is a reflection of my craftsmanship, and I am the captain. If it ain't 3V, then it's ABL. Saying AD2, then it's Kush as well. It's hard to sell, they starve to swell. So pardon yourself, you guarding yourself. I might as well carry two knives for one job. Out the front, and the other is a hawk. Chilling with hawk, cutting the box. The comment is popping, it's full of the ox. Welcome to Jump On Night Flicks. 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 I have insomnia, I know what the hell I'ma do. Might just watch me some Jump on YouTube. Flip on the flicks, just sit and consume. Grabbing my knife and I'm flipping it too. Up on the screen, I'll be seeing the crew. My daily carry is sharp and it's true. It is a purpose, so what do you do? If you are new, then let me tell you. Welcome to Jump On Night Flicks. 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 Welcome to
The Insomniac sitting spins now on the air for all the night freaks who can't sleep. I'm the Insomniac Juvon, and today we're gonna take a look at some of my flicks. So getting where you fitting, sit down, shut up and listen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to flick it. Welcome to the Insomniac sit and spin. 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 Play. Late night, patty whack, give a dog a bone. Grab a snack, sit right back and never be alone. It's time for Insomniac, sit and spin. A knife live stream and a gathering of friends. Insomniac, sit and spin is about to start. So come on in and do your part. Juvan's Night Flicks is the channel you seek for new knife reviews and a show every week. Fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight.
Went out. See, I'm a little bit, but are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna wanna make it. Are you high on cigarettes? Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? 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 He don't smoke them, but he loves it when you do. That's why he's high on cigarettes. And if you find him, you should light him up a few. He's getting high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong?
Kinder, Yibbo Shaky, me unscrabbly. Shaka-doobie, doubly shaka-doobie, pop swabble.
What is going on, guys? I hope y'all can hear me. I hope all is well. I've got a cat in the lap, which is not good. It's actually a little bit harrowing, to be quite honest with you, but I hope everybody can hear me. The cat is now out of the lap. I feel much more relaxed. Life is good. Life is good. How is everyone? Hope everybody's doing great. What's up, Skynet? What's happening? Richard Hopkins, Joe Isabella. And that's right, when I get to my channel members, I'm going to give them a rat scratch fever. Joe Isabella, the man, the myth, the legend. What is up, brother? Good to see you, buddy. We got Neil McKenzie in the house. What's up, Neil? I know that's going to get old, isn't it? I'm not worried about it. I'm going to let it ring, by God. Marco, what is up, buddy? Good to see you, man. I missed a call this afternoon from Marco Skywatch. Come to think about it, I was up at my dad's. That's my brain thinking out loud. Be Shady, what is up, brother? Brother Richard Hopkins, DKSF for you, my friend. And you went out today when the mail started running again. We are thawed here in North Alabama. I know a lot of y'all aren't. I know my brother Kyle and others are in very, very cold, snowy, nightmarish situations. So I feel y'all. It's just starting to thaw out here. I don't know where Puck is. Puck's been, he decided to hell with it. He was going to go out and he hadn't come back. I don't blame him. Kathleen, what is up, young lady? Good to see you. Good to see you, Autumn Wind. What is happening? Good to see you too. Everybody, we might have very special guest tonight, very possibly a knife maker. We will see. Just all kinds of weirdness could happen tonight on Juvan's Knife Flicks. Insomniac's Sit and Spin. I've got some shirts made, and I actually have a new vendor who I think is going to start doing the merch for Javon's Knife Flicks. And they sent me a shirt. I think I've told this story. Maybe I have. And on the back, it's got an Insomniac sit and spin with a cat. And on the front, it's got some different blade steels, kind of like this shirt, but it's a little different and it's different blade steels, right? One of them is crew wear. I misspelled crew wear. So that's something I can't find the somewhere in my Canva app. I've got to go back forever to find it. So anyway, good things coming there. I've got to redo that shirt. If somebody's got it and you see that it crew wear spelled wrong, that's a special edition. You should be stoked to have it. No, but it should be a good night. I'm looking forward to it. I hope my voice sounds okay. It's been a little scratchy. Seen vertical. No, there's two going. So what's up, Henry Christopher? What is happening? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So what's up is StreamYard has this thing where when you set up a stream, you have to choose horizontal, vertical, and like I've told you guys, I'm going to try to do verticals on Tuesday nights to draw in new viewers like Christopher. And they've also got this choice where you can go, I guess they call it Mars Portrait, which you have both a landscape stream, and this stream's running two ways, vertical, or you can watch it normal. What's up, Shane? Edgy American Blades. What's happening, buddy? Let me pull this off the screen. Hold on a second. Remove. Oh. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Dude, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Just chilling.
I found a Medford out in the wild today.
In the wild? Where in the wild? Like a store?
No, tattoo artist from Birmingham.
Was carrying it?
Yeah. When I went to the hot rod shop Friday night, I sharpened knives for like 2 hours. And I sharpened his Microtech and got it where it would shave. Microtech OTF.
Do you put that on your system or do you do that freehand?
No, I just did it on my work sharp with my Beneve stones.
Gotcha.
So he brought in a Medford today. It's just shocking to me when guys who aren't necessarily, well, they're knife guys, but they're not knife community guys. I'm pretty sure it was an infraction. Isn't the infraction the one that's got the 3 scallops on one side?
That's the infraction.
Flip it over. Let me see the other side. Then maybe it was very
Praetorian?
thin. I was shocked how thin it was.
Was it a Praetorian Slim?
No, it wasn't Praetorian. It looked.
Was it a Slim Midi?
I think it was. It must have been a Slim Midi.
I got the Slim Midi right here. Yeah, it is shocking, dude. I had a guy today, and I'm assuming he's not I never know if people are in the community or not. Does it look like that?
Flip it over. Wow, that's weird.
And it's got these 3 little, like if you're talking about by the.
Oh, these were 3 linear scallops, like
right here.
Another.
Right here.
No, they were side by side.
Huh.
I'm not sure what it was now, but it didn't have the big hole. I don't know.
Dr. Drew, dude, what's up? But yeah, it's this guy came in today and he wanted to buy it. And I think if we didn't have 3 there, he wanted to sell a knife, trade a knife. He had a McNeese Mac 2 that had no blade markings, dude. It was a totally flat scale. So it had no contouring, no milling. We already have 3 in stock. And I forget he and Tate were talking about it, if he wanted too much for it or what it was, but I think it was like a Gen 1. I don't know what the early McNeese looked like because Tate didn't seem to have any thought that it was a fake. To me, it just looked like a McNeese without any markings on the blade. I think it had a little USA flag, and the scales were 100% flat, except for some wear that this guy carried it. It was his user.
This guy also had a Freeman custom.
Ooh.
David Freeman from right here in Ohatchee, Alabama. I didn't even know he existed, man. That dude makes some very high-end custom folders.
Well, was it a fixie or a folder?
No, they're like titanium frame lock folders.
Isn't it amazing the talent that's just right around?
Yeah, I mean, he's literally 15 minutes from me.
And what's his? I'm gonna go to YouTube and
I
just
guess
see.
David Freeman custom knives, something like that.
It's not the same. It's not the Freeman that you've got though, right?
No, it's not Freeman. That's Freeman Outdoor Gear.
Freeman Outdoor Gear.
Yeah, this guy, I'm pretty sure it was
It's
David
Freeman. Let's see if he's got it.
It really gave me a lot of Edgy Blade Works vibes, other than the blade shapes, but just, I don't know, just his material choice.
You tell me if this is him. I think this is it. David Freeman Knives.
I can't see it. That sounds right. Yeah.
Let's see what we got here.
But I think they go up into the, couple $1,000 range.
I'm following him.
Yeah. He's just right here in, not Ohatchee, Asheville. Literally 15 minutes from here.
Does that look like his knife?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got some a lot fancier than that, but.
Oh my God! Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
DLC, or is that some kind? Oh, look at that blue. That's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I think the blade's gonna have that same blue. Yeah.
Kyle owns one of his knives. He said he started. Kyle, we don't listen to anything you say, man. Well, he's like 15
minutes. Nice stuff.
He's like 15 minutes from me. I had no idea, Kyle. I think, actually, now that I think about it, I think you told me that he was really close to me, and I forgot.
Man, I mean, his stuff is like breathtaking.
Yeah.
It's wild because, like, I'm following him, but consciously, I don't think about him. I think it's only because
I hate it here. sorry, Kyle.
Now I've seen that knife. That was a Tuya. Yeah. See, what's funny is what you guys don't like, when these custom makers make a knife available, now I mean, granted, that's an abomination when you look at his real work, but still, he's just never been on my radar. Not that he cares. He doesn't need to be, but what beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, man, it's almost as cool as
Kyle, do you have one of his customs, or do you have that concept voodoo?
Is that what this is? The voodoo?
I think that's what it said.
Yeah, the voodoo by Tuya Knives. I don't think I've ever had this one. And I get a lot of Tuya. David is very, very kind to me.
Kyle has a custom.
I mean, are they like $1,200, Kyle? Or are they $800? Or are they
up to and above $2,000? But I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can see how, like, that's got to be
a
three.
There's some Vegas Forge copper Damascus.
I say that, Shane, but you've seen, and I know it's not the same thing, but you've seen how little Greg Datcher Knives charges for his stuff at our store.
Yeah, but I mean, that's still.
I know it's not the same. I know it's not the same, but you wonder. I wonder if he's realizing, if Freeman Knives is realizing his value.
This is the thing about Dasher. He's making art pieces and, conversation pieces, and he's right. It doesn't matter how nice this stuff is, how fancy it looks, until his name's out there and it's desirable, it's not worth $200.
Right, but I think, and I've lost my chat, but I think what happens is when people walk in, they can appreciate, these are people off the street who don't know that he's a guy from Huntsville. We have to tell them he's the local guy, but they find his stuff, right? Yeah. They see it. Where are the fucking comments? I think it's just my internet.
It's no different than are those Randall Bowies worth what they sell for? Fuck no.
Why are they so expensive?
Because people are willing to pay for his name. He got his name out. It's just like the Winkler knives. They're not great materials. They're very basic. I could make clones of that knife all day with my limited talent. It's just, Jack Carr made him famous.
Well, we had a guy bring a Winkler in. I don't know what but Tate ended up keeping it. He wanted to keep it. It was a pretty nice knife. I don't know
They are nice.
what was nice about it. It was the only one. It's the only Winkler I've ever seen was that one that came in, and it was a maker that before that. I guess my point was before I went squirrel brain. It's wild how many of these very talented makers exist, and I hope that they're all healthy. I hope that their businesses are healthy. Said Stevie, I'll hit you up with a link too, Nannerpuss. Coming your way, brother. Thank you, my man.
You can call me Nannerpuss, and guess what? You can call me Nannerpuss, and guess what? I love Nannerpuss. You can call me Nannerpuss.
Yeah, but the thing people don't realize about Winkler, that dude made props. He made all the tomahawks for Last of the Mohicans. He made props. And
Cheers, Joe. I hope it gets better, dude. I hope you get relief from that at least.
And Jack
Praying
Carr
for you,
was highly
dude.
impressed with his props and had him make some real shit. But I'm not bad mouthing Winkler because I feel like his prices are still at least somewhat fair. But
Yeah, I've never. I want to say
without Jack
I
Carr,
don't
he's
even want to guess at what this was like an 8-inch blade that was kind of a trailing point. Look, is what if I remember it correctly.
Yeah.
If I remember it correctly.
Richard, I have not had a chance to get to the shop. It's supposed to be in the 40s tomorrow. I'm going to head there tomorrow.
Stevie, if you get the chance or if you're where you'd like to, you are more than welcome to join, brother. I'm sending this to you now. I need to just send it out to you and Maddie. I need to send one to Maddie too. Because again, it's just a hang. It is just a hang. And the reason I do the portrait too is to bring in new people who might want to hang, right? I think it's fun. They can come in, they can clown on us. As long as they're civil and they're not, spending any more crazy than the shit we do. It's all good. The more the merrier, right? Isn't that the spirit? Where's Maddie? Let me send him. But Shane, it's been too cold, right, to do anything. I would think.
Yeah, and I know that's not an excuse for going and picking a knife up, but I just at the moment kind of couldn't justify making the trip if I can't do anything while I'm there.
Dude, I totally get it. Oh, there's my buddy Dan I used to work with and his daughter. I just happened to flip over to Instagram and see a heartwarming picture, guys. See, I've got a kind side still, even though it's trying to be stomped out by life and the reality and the darkness that keeps creeping in. I see a picture like Dan and his daughter on Instagram, and I'm just like, man, it's all good.
Man, I got a video of Patina's little boy today chasing a squirrel around a tree, and it damn near made me cry. It was so beautiful.
Dude, isn't that and think about that. That's all that really matters is that little boy chasing that squirrel around a tree when it comes down to it. Yep. We let all this other outside shit just kind of come in and cloud our ability to enjoy that squirrel chase.
Yep.
The only thing that'd make it better is if the squirrel turned around and started chasing the little boy. Yeah. I've seen so much, man, AI, and I'm getting some crazy. Let's just jump over to Instagram for shits and giggles. Because I'm getting some crazy cat AI. Gangster cat AI, I'm talking about. So there's my good buddy Dan, who I worked with for years. And his daughter, I'm thinking, there's something that's going to not good.
Hey, I got an update on the Wicked Edge hand sharpener. You want to make me full screen for a minute so I can show these guys?
Yep.
And this may be the case with other sharpeners. I don't know. But when you install the knife...
Let me make this comment go away. Hold on.
Into the little angle thing here, like on this Hogue, if you let the thumb stud hit the ramp to actually be at 20 degrees, you're not sharpening the last 1/8 inch of the knife. So to
Hold on
get
a
that
second. Say
fire
that
blade on
again.
it,
Say that again. That was confusing to me. Say that
right,
again.
so here's the little guide system.
Yep, I got you there.
You put the knife in it, and
Of
for it
course,
to
you
lay
want
at
the
20
blade on there.
degrees, for it to lay at 20 degrees, the thumb stud hits it. So you can see that
Ah,
1/8 inch of blade hanging off the back right there that's not
it's not
touching.
getting sharpened.
To get to that, you can change the angle and get the thumb stud up on the ramp, but now you're probably at 35 degrees. So that's another disadvantage to this system.
Does it just happen on the Hogue, or just depending on where your thumb stud placement
I
is?
imagine it's just depending on where the I don't have a lot of thumb stud knives to check it on. But
Well, that's that kind of sucks. I was asking Tate today because he's back in the office after having surgery. How he sharpens slip joints, because that's a different deal altogether. And he just uses an Arkansas stone. But he said my field sharpener should be fine for my slip joint. What would you say?
there's a lot of talk going around a couple years ago. I remember about people talking about carbide tear out, because the carbides in carbon steel are kind of big and chunky, and that diamond instead of wearing them down could tear them out. I don't know if anybody ever came up with an answer to that, if it was actually an issue or not.
Sierra.
I've sharpened carbide steels on diamond and haven't had any issue.
Well, I wouldn't think you'd want to go on the rough side of the field work sharp, but I wouldn't think you'd need to. I watched the thing from Patty's potato peelers, and he used that little Victorinox stick that I've got. It looks kind of like a fat Sharpie, but you take the cover off and it's got this blue stone. But what it doesn't have is an angle guide, really. And I guess you don't need one, but it's kind of awkward. You know, it looks like a Sharpie. My field sharpener feels more. And this, if to buy the stone that Tate uses, it was green. It was a hard Arkansas stone. I think it was $22 on Instagram. Hold on a second. And it was a Lansky. That's diamond.
Yeah, it's a diamond. This is not $15.
Yeah, but would not have carbide tear out that we were just talking about?
That's why I'm saying I don't even know if carbide tear out. I don't
is
know
a real thing.
Yeah,
I'll show you the.
I just know some people were saying you shouldn't use diamonds on carbon steel, but I don't know. I don't know if it matters.
Well, what sucks about this is you got to bring oil into the game. You got to, fuck with the. I don't want to get something different or something additional, even if it's not expensive, if I've got something that'll work. And I'm sure, like my TS Prof, not my stone. I guess I could just hand use it on one of my Venise or one of my TS Prof stones. Where's that damn Lansky?
I will say this though: those few passes. Of course, this thing wasn't necessarily dull. But those few passes did bring this thing back to life. It's got a lot of bite now. So.
I mean, and how often are you gonna? So you think that's gonna be on all thumb studs? You're gonna run into that issue? Is there not a way?
I don't have enough thumb stud knives to tell you though.
Yeah.
I'm not a big thumb stud guy.
Well, let me tell you this. I've got my Hogue, so let me compare.
But if the thumb stud is up directly above the cutting path, I would imagine it's going to be that case for anybody, for any of them. All I've tested it on were Spydercos, so it wasn't an issue.
Right. Now they've got a soft and a hard. The one that he's got is a hard, and for some reason it's got terrible reviews on Amazon, or it's only got 3 stars. But this is the stone that Tate uses for slip joints, and he sharpens a lot of cases.
Yeah, but that's not sharpening tin. You can do that with anything abrasive. You could do that on sandpaper.
But like a case, that's what I'm talking about. For like a case knife, and what's the difference in a soft and a hard? I know the soft will pit faster.
I don't know.
I mean, soft dark. It's 200 350 grit,
Yeah.
as opposed to a hard's probably a higher grit.
You got me.
Use one exceptional fine edge. I mean, this is the one and done he uses.
I'm not
I don't
buying
know.
a bunch of Arkansas stones just to sharpen a couple of
No.
cards to shut knives with.
No, me neither. Me neither. Overthink sharpening. DeKong, it's true, buddy. Well, the reason is if I overthink it, it keeps me from fucking up a knife. Not that I'll fuck it up any less by overthinking it. It's just that I'll never sharpen the knife, therefore it won't get fucked up. So I'll spend more time thinking about it, and I'll be like, "Oh, forget about it.
What's
I'll
up,
go
Ryan?
chase another squirrel." What's up, Ryan?
And Joe, I have not yet. I haven't. I haven't had anything grab me that I want to put those on yet, but I'm sure I will.
Now there's one that it wouldn't matter on.
I used to sharpen a lot of my knives on a 1x30.
See that, Shane? Those studs wouldn't get in the way.
Maybe not. I don't know. It'd be close, but maybe not.
The action on this knife is insane. I don't carry it nearly enough. But it's just, I mean,
I wanted that knife so bad and then didn't get it. And
hey, look who's here.
I have no desire for it anymore.
Whoops.
Who?
I always forget that he jumps in. What's up, Kyle?
I couldn't let you guys sit here and talk about sharpening without joining.
I agree. Well, man, I'm glad you did. I thought that might draw you out. It was kind of like what do you call it? A dog whistle.
Yeah.
It was a dog whistle for you, buddy. So what do you think about carbide tear out on a case? Mine's true. What's it called? PRU. True.
Quality stones, you won't have an issue.
So, well, I'm not talking about a quality stone. I'm talking about a specifically a work sharp field sharpener.
We're talking about sharpening carbon steel on a diamond plate.
Yeah, there's no issue at all.
Okay. As long because it's, I guess,
as long as it's the quality abrasive, you won't have any problems at all. I've had zero issues, and I've sharpened 1095 and
would you consider a work sharp field sharpener quality sharpening or not really?
It's low medium grade.
And again, if I stay away from the coarse side, I would assume that would be better.
I remember the drama now, and the only person I remember who really chimed in on it was Steve Kalari, and he claimed that the only time he had ever experienced it happening was on factory burnt edges.
Well, you're cutting through that anyways, and that's kind of the point. So GECs never come sharp out of the box.
No,
I've sharpened them on diamonds, on coarse diamonds, got nasty edges off of them with zero tear out. Yeah. No problems at all.
What's up, Ryan?
What's up, guys?
Hey, buddy.
I like your little reflective vest back there.
You like that, man?
Yeah. That keeps somebody from running over you in a forklift?
Yeah.
His luxury mobile home.
I got two of them.
You got two mobile homes.
I almost made a joke.
Two vests.
I'm so glad I didn't.
Two vests.
Chito Ventura Chip Detective, what is up, brother? On the vertical stream. Hey, buddy, just so you know, there's a vertical stream and a landscape stream out there. So viewers can choose. I think the chat comes together. I don't know how it works. I'm not that.
The chat does not come together. The chat comes together in StreamYard, but not for those guys. They can only see what YouTube stream they're in.
Well, I'm in YouTube. I got 15. Let's go to the other. I've got 2 live streams happening.
The vertical is really for people who aren't regulars, in my opinion. This is to try to attract the randoms.
Right.
Yeah,
you can get confused which one they go in.
Yeah.
Well, they should both be presented to you, right? If you're a subscriber.
They were both presented. I clicked on one on my TV and I couldn't get chat or anything like that on it.
One of them
That
has
was when I clicked on the other one and I was able to pull chat up.
the one that doesn't have a little phone icon at the end of
I didn't
it
get it that way, pocket privilege.
is the landscape. But yeah, it's just see what
It is-
happens. Pocket privilege, what is up?
Yeah, it's easier. So like if you're
You're a regular, you can
want to
be
see
on
the
the
majority of the chat. If you want to see the majority of the chat, go on the normal one, and then you're going to miss people's comments from the main chat. So
So I wonder
Oh,
how.
it's not because I've got one of each on right now, and I'm not
Oh,
seeing.
wow.
I'm not seeing comments.
But is StreamYard not pulling them both in?
StreamYard will, but those people can't see that
StreamYard
at
is,
home.
but
Right.
People at home
But my question is,
I had them both up, and there's one of them that don't get chats.
and you're all right, I'm sure, but if StreamYard's able to broadcast two streams, and in my YouTube studio, they're two separate streams. So I guess they're just broadcasting the same, and that's not a good. We're going back to portrait next week, guys.
We've been
We'll
saying
bring
that for a
y'all
long
up again.
time, buddy.
we're all
So-
in portrait, and as long as everybody's in portrait, we can all see the chat. You're just posting the vertical, and I'm hoping it's broadcasting in
No.
the stream.
The
right.
To me, portrait is vertical.
Whatever.
Landscape is.
Kathleen, if you go onto the main one, or when you hop on the
Yeah, I'm gonna
stream,
drop the link in there. Let me just drop the link in.
one
there.
is vertical and one is standard. You want to go to the main one where the more people are, and that way you can see everyone's comments that
They're not
are.
more in one. They're about the same. Hold on a second. Let me find it.
Well,
The
typically you're
viewers
gonna
are
have.
about the same. They're equally
What were we
dispersed.
even thinking? Getting John talking about YouTube and how it
I don't
works?
know.
No, I'm just going to send the link to Kathleen. If anybody who wants the landscape
You don't need a
view,
link. If she's not in the right, she's in the right spot, or she wouldn't be seeing chat. And if she's not, she can just back out and pick it up. It's not difficult to find.
you confused me already.
It's not confusing.
It's
You-
not
What?
confusing. You can keep doing both, and all the people who don't like verticals will come here, and
But
hopefully
here they might not have a link to here. I don't know how that's presented to them. I don't know if they.
There's
Both
there's
are on the screen at the same
both are
time.
on.
When you search for it, they're side by side. They can pick.
damn it. Hang on. Let me
I'm
share
gonna
this.
look. I'm gonna look at what it looks like when I go to my page. That's all I'm doing is I'm just going to my page.
right.
Kyle's gonna leave his own show.
Kathleen, we
Okay,
don't
okay,
care.
they're right there, top and
Look,
bottom.
You got two of them side by side.
I see
One
it.
has
I see it.
the vertical one. This one here has 5 people watching. This one
And
has
this one's
20.
got 20, and that's what I want to share the link of this one. I'm gonna
Why
share.
do you don't need to share the link?
I just thought I'd drop it in for Kathleen Shea. Well, all right, you're right.
She's clearly here. She wouldn't be reading chat.
Who's on first?
But
Jesus
there's
Christ.
chat that she could be reading. No, I don't want I want them wherever they want to be, right? So the vertical, the goal to vertical, why I was doing it and thinking that somehow chat would come together. I don't know why, but it pushes it out to more potential viewers, to more potential knife people. So I'm not assuming that non-knife people would come in here and stay, right? So if they see it and they come in because it's being pushed on the shorts channel, so to speak, or the shorts stream, it gets in front of more people. That's why I said Stevie has
And that's
such
why you should
fun.
leave it there and not worry about it.
I'm not worried about it. But to me, I like to look at the landscape, like looking at you four guys. It's a lot easier than if I look over to the left, which I don't know if y'all have that option, and you see what it looks like portrait or
Yeah, I see.
vertical.
I just turned that off.
I see.
Hey, I've got something that's confusing for you guys that I've just noticed. So I've got YouTube pulled up on my TV,
That's awesome too. It looks
Yeah.
great.
and which I was setting the TV up and everything. I finally had time to do it, but so here on my computer, my screen's real like clear.
Yeah.
Everybody's normal on my computer and on the TV screen, except for my thing on the TV. It's inverted, and it's very pixelated.
There's no. Now, are you using an Apple TV? Or are you using a Google device that's tied to your main device?
It's a Roku TV.
Okay, so the Roku TV is you're using the Roku YouTube app. So there's no way I would think that that's I'd log out and log back in. That seems
Because
weird.
it's weird. Like on YouTube, on my computer, everything's normal, and everybody's normal on the TV too, except for mine. On the TV, mine is inverted.
What kind?
that's an
Where's
option
your
you can
camera? Is your
read.
camera somehow cooked to your Roku?
Mhm.
That's an
Well, what
option you
kind
can change in the settings. You can invert the picture.
Yeah, I know that, but on my computer, it's not inverted.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. What
And
he's saying is
it's streaming live on my TV, but somewhere from
you're
here.
not inverted to the broadcast. You're
No,
not
no, I'm
being
not
broadcast.
inverted. I'm not inverted here on the computer.
Yeah.
It's just on the TV. It's inverted,
Well,
and it's pixelated.
So what kind of are you using your phone for a camera or are you using a webcam?
It's my computer, my laptop.
That's a mystery, dude. I have to think about that because usually I'm pretty good at stuff like that.
Are you?
Kyle? Well, I mean, I'm not pixelated. I don't have Jason's light on. I just did too. Kyle, you can pitch in on that. Is Kyle
So-
gone?
No,
Oh.
I'm here. I was letting you guys ramble.
Well, Kyle, what?
Don't do that, Kyle.
I think we
Part of
wasted
your-
the last 15
part
minutes
of
of
your
y'all's
help-
lives talking
part
about
of-
absolutely nothing.
Yeah, part of your help is to stop some of this banner. I don't like going down these fucking rabbit
We
holes.
tried to stop you.
I'm supposed to outtalk you, John. That's
No,
funny.
You're supposed to say, well, what you could do, and I'm looking for breathers. Believe me, I like to go.
How long did it take us to stop you from posting a link? A link to a
Oh.
live stream that people are already in.
While.
Exactly.
Okay, point made. I'll take that. Another one for the toe.
Dear God. I should
Go
have
ahead,
stayed.
Kyle. I'm sorry. Help Ryan find out why he's pixelated and upside down on his TV.
Ryan, is it you said Roku?
Yeah.
When you logged in,
I just realized Ryan's not upside down or pixelated.
Do what?
You're not upside down or pixelated. You're fucking with John.
No. I am. I'm not saying it's upside down. I meant
It's inverted.
it's
And
inverted.
you can
So
change that right there in the settings.
I'm
But
not
it's not
inverted
on
on my settings.
computer.
on YouTube.
What he's saying is it's you see he
it
sent me a picture of a 60-inch or 80-inch
No.
or
why would you ask me to talk?
Yeah, Kyle, talk.
All right. So let's try this, Ryan. I'm going to share the screen and show you exactly what you can try.
Okay.
So that way we can walk you through it and it's not.
sorry, audience.
Exactly.
I'm not talking anymore. I'm kidding, Kyle. That was a joke.
All right. Ryan, can you see that?
Ugh.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Down here at the bottom right, next to the red button, there's a little your settings menu. Click that. That pops up.
This is going to change it on my computer, though, right?
I want to see if it changes it also on your TV.
I got it. I see what you're saying. Okay. Give me
It's
just
called-
a second.
Troubleshooting.
Yeah, deductive.
So I'm going to click on the gear. Is that what you clicked on?
Yes.
Nope.
Click on the gear to settings. Then
Okay.
you're going to go down to the next one that says camera. Okay.
Yeah.
And then right under the camera you have, you can pick mirror my camera. Click on that little icon.
Yeah, I clicked on it.
Okay. Then you should back out into your main section here and see if it changes on your TV at all.
Kyle's soothing voice should have helped you through that. I'm sure he worked customer service before.
No, if I work customer
I mean,
service,
I can't see me. Kyle's talking on the TV screen there too, with his comment.
oh, well, here, there. Smart ass. Is that better?
Hey, hang on, the TV's lagging, I guess.
See, I'm trying to think why your TV is communicating, even though it's Roku, unless you've signed in to your Roku account
Yes, I've signed in to YouTube
through Roku.
through Roku on my TV. Yeah.
Correct.
Maybe after we've done this a couple of months, we'll know what we're doing.
All right. So now,
And Ron, why do we care if you're pixelated when you're sitting there looking at your 100-inch?
Yeah, see,
TV?
now it won't. Hang on a second. I wonder if I can do it up here too. No, I can't because I'm not using the TV as a camera.
so what's going on the TV?
It's not changing
Okay.
over there on the TV.
All right. So that is a Roku issue, not a StreamYard issue.
Why would you think, using
And-
your logical mind, that it's singling Ryan out?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, for upside
What have I done
down
wrong?
in pixelation instead of making the whole
I agree
screen?
with Kathleen Smith. What does it matter?
It doesn't.
It don't. I was just wondering.
I'm just trying to assist, but yes, I agree. It doesn't matter. Doesn't mean shit.
Thanks
But
for going
here-
down the rabbit
Here we are.
hole.
Here we are talking about it.
Yeah, here we are.
I'm not the only one who chases squirrels.
Ryan. So what I was getting at was, so like currently
What's up, turd burglar? Remember?
I'm using my phone as my camera, right?
Yep.
Well, through what I was wondering why on Roku, because with a Mac, if your phone is near your Mac, it'll pull up continuity camera, which means you can use your phone as your webcam. And I didn't know if maybe your phone was trying to connect to your Roku and use that as a webcam. But if you're not logged into that, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I think I get what you're saying.
So like currently I'm on a Mac, but a desktop. I'm not on a laptop. So
Right.
above me right here is my phone on a mount,
Mhm.
and it's using as the webcam for my monitor because my monitor doesn't have a webcam. So
Okay.
it's going to the Mac wirelessly and connecting and using itself as the webcam. So I was curious if your phone was trying to connect as the webcam.
I wonder if it's doing the same thing. If
You go to your Roku app on your phone.
no, I don't have a Roku app on my phone.
Let me
But-
check.
No, that's the vertical.
Like Kathleen says, does it matter? I want to see if it's working on Rumble.
It honestly, it really don't matter. I'm just curious if
I'm sure
I'm
everybody
just
does that by now. It
streaming.
shouldn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just curious if I'm streaming like on the TV, why the TV's different. Like it's not recording or anything. Like the camera's not on the TV or anything. That's all. That's all I was wondering.
Hello,
Okay,
Terry.
good.
Welcome to
Troubleshooting 101. Why we do all kinds of things in Insomniacs. Sit and spin. You're not
Yeah, see on
pixelated.
my phone, it's inverted too.
Ryan, I'm on YouTube right now. Hang on, let me hit live. And you're not pixelated, and you look exactly the same as you do on StreamYard. So it's only your TV.
yeah,
Your
you
Roku.
on my television.
Hey, 1931 Leatherworks. What is up, brother?
That's what I was getting at.
Dude, I didn't even know all this
Oh, hey,
existed.
what's up? I missed a lot of people. I missed
I
a
was
lot of
looking at
people.
a Hot Rod magazine one time and saw pictures of a 70 model Chevelle Super Sport.
Five door.
The steering wheel
Five
was on the
door.
right
I've been
hand
getting
side.
more rust locks in.
The steering wheel was on the right hand side that blew my mind. And I kept sending emails to figure out why somebody had a right hand drive Chevelle, only to realize that sometimes when you take pictures, it inverts it. But they printed it that way.
Have you ever driven a mail truck?
This isn't mail trucks.
I know, but it's a weird
We all know they're
feeling.
right hand drive.
You know what John has in common with the mail truck?
What?
Doesn't have doors on his car.
Yeah.
That's a fact, Jack. And I can go by and I can sling mail just like little kid on a bike slinging papers. What y'all?
I can't believe that speaker still works. That speaker has been out in the rain for 2 years now.
It's rocks, dude. It kicks. I think it's got better bass. I think when they say you got to let your headphones break in, you know, I think I'm super broken in that speaker.
That's the first thing I did with Ryan when we pulled up
When
to
you
your
think
house.
about Jimmy Page's speaker, and he kick it, you son of a bitch, squirt heroin on it.
Mm,
Joseph S., what's up? Welcome to Insomniac. Sit and spin.
So much for rabbit holes.
That's what's fun
Door,
about
I'm
it.
glad you're here. I haven't told this story to Kyle yet, but I had a dream, a very long, vivid dream, that you and Kyle were on a podcast and you were talking about your prior military service. And in the dream, I kept thinking, that's not at all what I pictured Five Door looking like. And I had no idea that Five Door was like a, special ops soldier and all this stuff. And then I remember being shocked that Kyle was on screen interviewing you. And then I woke up and it was that Rob O'Neill interview was playing on my television. But in my half asleep mind, I replaced Rob O'Neill with Five Door. And I replaced
Thank God.
And
Man.
I replaced Andy.
I'll be Andy Stump, and he can be Rob O'Neill
with Kyle. And
speaking of which, did you see that interview with?
What was crazy is how realistic it was. Like
That's
in my
so
sleep,
beautiful.
I was just amazed that I was hearing all this.
I'm not going to dox the person, but I had a DM. I've still got it on Instagram from a good buddy on the knife community about 2 nights ago or a night ago. Said I was up. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And he said, hey, man, I just had a dream and you were in it. And you told me, why do you work so hard? He goes, thank you for the advice. And he high-fived me. I was like, dude, I'm always here to help. And that's truth, don't work yourself too hard. You won't get some time back.
Rob O'Neill supposedly.
What's up, Maddie? Maddie, you got a link like Brother Stevie does if you want to jump in and say, hey.
Rob O'Neill supposedly the guy that killed like I keep wanting to say Obama. What's it, Obama?
Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden.
Yeah,
Dude, I'm telling you what, Five Door and I doing a podcast would be absolutely insane. And it would be
why don't you do it? You've got the platform. You can use StreamYard.
Because neither one of us, I don't care. I can't get canceled.
Five Door's not Rob O'Neill. He's not Andy Stump. That's why.
No, but I want Five Door to continue to have income.
Well, you can. Five Door can wear a mask, or he can do even better. He can do an animatronics potato. One of the guys I watch is called Cardiff Electric. He's a potato head.
Scooter.
You don't have to show your identity. There are more people that have podcasts that hide their identity either by like wearing a mask over their face because they don't want people messing with them if they get big in their personal life. And you unfortunately attract people that will mess with you in your personal life, like go after where you work and release that information on Discord.
Yeah, that's why Demolition Ranch shut his channel down. People wouldn't leave his family alone.
It gets crazy,
Shane, did you see the Mike Ritlin, Rob interview?
No.
Oh my God. It was absolutely cringeworthy. It was disgusting.
I don't have opinions about stuff like that.
No, I'm just saying that dude is way off the deep end.
They're all off the deep end. They're all fucking psychopaths. I've explained that to you. You have to be a psychopath to even sign up for that training. You have to be a psychopath to survive it. You have to be a fucking psychopath to do that for a living.
To get through it, and
we expect to be politically correct on a podcast.
I'm not talking about that.
Todd Carr.
What's up, Toddy?
I'm just saying, they're better off not being in the public eye.
Oh, congratulations.
They're good for one thing.
Maddie's balls dropped finally. He was able to change a faucet.
Sometimes that's a big deal.
Brandon Spencer, why do you say ready to ship when you were picked up today? Did you get an email today?
Who?
Brandon. No.
I got a bunch of emails today.
I just fucking doxed him. Nobody. Kyle, you got your package, didn't you? You probably
Not-
haven't gotten out to get it, but it got delivered.
Kyle got his package.
I don't know if it's gotten delivered or not because my mailbox is.
Got under
Can't even
snow. It
I'll
got
turn that
delivered.
camera down a little bit. We'd see if he's got a package.
So your liners are there. I know you can't get to them. It's the last thing that you care about. But for some reason,
Look
a
at that belly.
package that I shipped today that was picked up today, finally, after the mail finally came, is showing in my system ready to ship when I know it's shipped. Y'all sit tight.
My mailbox is completely covered with snow. You can't even see it.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna mute my mic.
Wow. We found a way to shut him up.
It's kind of scary.
Don't say anything when he
So-
comes back because if he forgets, it's great.
So why did he mute his mic?
I don't know. But I'm not asking questions looking gift horse in the mouth.
Oh,
Anyways, how are you fine gentlemen doing now that we got a little bit of a breather? Oh, Shane left.
Shane is frozen.
Shane gone. How you doing, Ryan?
Man, doing good. So I sent some mammoth to Steve Dumchkus,
Okay.
or however you say his last name. And he got them glued on, shaped and everything. He come back a few minutes later after eating lunch, and they had warped.
Did he grind them too thin first before the adhesives stuck or what?
He said he wasn't sure. He said it's the first time this happened to him, and so he's going to have to reshape them. I sent enough there, so he's got enough there to make another set. So
That's what I would think, honestly, is if he got them too thin before the adhesive stuck, it's kind of like wood when if you get it, too thin on one side and it put water on one side or whatever, then it's going to bend the opposite direction.
right.
So if he didn't have enough thickness there, then it probably wouldn't grab. Welcome back, Sunshine.
So the weather has a lot to do with it too.
I don't know what's going on. Wi-Fi has been spotty though.
Yeah.
What about this?
Oh, got another guest, John.
Unmute. Y'all welcome Mr. Gary Creeley from Creeley Knives.
What is
What's
that?
up, buddy?
Hey, Gary.
Hello.
I want to introduce you to people on stream. I didn't know if you were going to be able to jump on or not. I've got Kyle Coonley, the top center, Clean Work Sharpening. Fantastic source of information and controversy for me. And then Ryan Ellis, my buddy over to the right, a huge connoisseur of finer knives that he shares with us. And then to your immediate left, I guess, is Edgy American Blades, a good friend here in Alabama who also makes knives.
All right.
And this is Gary Creeley of Creeley Blades. I'd reached out to him, gosh, when was it, Gary? About a month ago?
Yeah, something like that.
To talk about some of the materials you work with and some of your cool designs. Like I think it was the minnow and the help me with the medium-sized knife.
There's the minnow, the mako. Folklore is a bushcraft. Yeah. I'm the
Introduce
board
yourself and tell them. I mean, you work with some really neat metals, really neat steels.
Yes. Well, where do you want me to start?
Don't listen to Shane. Don't listen to Edgy American. You start wherever you want to start. You talk about how you started the company. I think your knives are known by everybody in the chat. But you start wherever you'd like, sir. I'm glad you're here.
Well, thanks for having me. So where did I start? So where I started was there was a well, go back a little further. I always was into knives, even as a little kid. I learned to sharpen knives pretty young, probably 12 or something. Always sharpened, and then finally, well, then I started collecting when I was in college. I got hold of a Blue Ridge catalog, if you know what the Blue Ridge catalog is.
It's like 3 times the size of the Sears wish list catalog.
Yeah, yeah, and I convinced them that I was a knife shop, and you had to do a minimum order of $100 back. It's still $100, matter of fact, but that was more money back in the 90s. And so I would get a bunch of friends at college that were interested in knives and order, get to that minimum order and order stuff every once in a while. And so we did that. But I saw this video probably about 15 years ago, 12 years ago. Cut Brooklyn was the name of the company. It's a guy in New York City who made chef's knives. I thought they were really cool. And they were $500, give or take. And I just thought that was preposterous for a knife at the time. $500. So I bought a bunch of equipment and made my own knives. And, interestingly enough, now looking back, $500 is not that much for a chef's knife these days. So in those days, considering it was just an ABL knife, I mean, maybe it was a little pricey, but he had gotten a lot of notoriety from that video. It was like Business Insider or one of those,
right?
That did a little thing on. Interestingly enough, I bought some equipment, some used knife making equipment from somebody in New Jersey, and he had bought some drops from, I'm assuming, New Jersey Steel Baron, and in those drops was a blank for one of those Cut Brooklyn knives. So I ended up heat treating it and making my own Cut Brooklyn knife from one of his actual blanks.
How cool is that? Have you still have that knife, or is
I do. It was a while ago. It's not great, but it's decent. It's a big knife. It's like a 10-inch chef's knife. I don't usually make chef's knives so big, but
and you're tell everybody where you're located again?
Pennsylvania, near Allentown.
Yep. Kind of a rich place of knife lore and knife makers and knife innovators.
A lot of industry in general. Of course, Bethlehem Steel built a good portion of America, and that's only right down the road. I'm actually right down the road from Carpenter, also. They're only about 45 minutes away. So, yeah, there's a lot of industry. It's easy to get old industrial tools like, surface grinders and stuff used and cheap. But, yeah. And then, so anyway, about 10 or so that got me into the journey. And when it comes to making knives, the hardest thing is grinding the blade. That's the rest of it is not very hard. But grinding takes a lot of experience, and it takes messing up a lot of steel, and it's more tricky. It's tricky. And so that was the part. And then I chose chef's knives to start. So like I ended up with more like a breaking knife at the end of it rather than a chef's knife, because I just kept messing it up and going up and up and up and up. So, and so then finally I started making, I developed the Mako with a guy named Michael Christie. I don't know if people remember Michael Christie. He was
definitely.
Yeah. If you were on YouTube Knife World 10 or 15 years ago, he was definitely one of the well-known guys, sharpener guy, and would do tests on Spydercos and various steels. So we got talking about steel and developing a fixed blade, a smaller fixed blade, and that's how the Mako started. And I did a whole bunch in Rex 121. I ground hundreds of those by hand, hard.
I bet. Oh my God!
And so when I hear people say, "Oh, Magna Cut's so hard to grind," no, no, it is not. It's harder to grind.
How is it in comparison to like S125V or S90V?
Honestly, in my opinion, I think if you're using the right belts, Rex is actually a little easier to grind than those, because the chrome in those other steels make it a little more gummy and make it just a little more difficult to grind.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't grind. I grind certain models in house now, but the Mako and the Minnow, I don't. I have them ground by
I'm gonna
Larkin.
real quickly. I'm gonna show the Mako, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
It's off the website. And StreamYard's so bad about showing these. Let me get on a different picture. So the grind, boom.
Gary, do you ever by chance visit Lehigh Valley Tools?
Lehigh Valley Tools. No, I've not been there.
They're into woodworking, but they're not too far from where you're at, and they carry some pretty like higher end chisels and planes and that kind of stuff. That is kind of intriguing.
Interesting. No, I've not been there.
Thanks, Richard, for sharing that's just where I was, for sharing his website. Do you prefer his websites? I know is where you like to do business, but do people contact you through Instagram more or through your website? Which site do you like to have shared more for your contact?
The emails off the website work a little better.
Gotcha. I understand.
I mean, people contact me every which way, and I miss it sometimes, and sometimes people get butthurt about that. But it's not on purpose. It's just I get a lot of emails. I try to get to them all.
It happens.
Forgive me for getting confused, but how long ago was this batch of Rex 121 you did?
That first batch was probably about 10 years ago.
See, I didn't even know it existed that long ago.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of became prominent recently since Spyderco started using it.
Gary's I'll let him kind of weave into that story of how he is aware of a lot of these different steels kind of before other people are, it seems like to me. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Gary.
Yeah. So I probably made more Rex 121 knives than anybody else in the world, I think, until Spyderco made them.
Right.
And then I knew one day Spyderco would make knives in Rex 121. And so, but it's such a hassle to work with. It's not a real practical knife steel, and they can't make it anymore, so it's just going to kind of go away. So
why can't they make it anymore?
The furnaces that Aerosteel has, which was replacing all the CPM grades, doesn't get hot enough. Well, it could get hot enough, but it would ruin the inside of the furnace to get it hot enough to melt Rex 121. So Rex 121, 15V, maybe even 125 CPM S125. Like a lot of those really extreme steels would probably go away, but they're not. Rex is fun, but it's not practical. It's just it rusts very easily. It's super low toughness. I mean, super low toughness, like glass. And it's fun. It's cool. I like it. I kind of did my thing with it, and it's less interesting to me than it used to be. I still like it, and I like the 15V also that Spyderco's doing. It's similar. It's similar. It's tougher than Rex, but it's still going to rust. It's high edge retention, but not too much else.
There are more better balanced options out there.
Yeah, there are better, more practical steels out there, and because it chips so easy, you got to run your edge angles a little steeper than.
You want to show him, Ryan?
I can show him.
Yeah, look at this, Gary. He's had this knife about 2 weeks. It makes me sick to see it, but I also have a Rex 121 Spyderco, and I'm just well aware that it can't touch anything hard. Yeah, that's how I see it. I don't side loop it at all. I don't let it touch anything hard. But he's got a brand new Spyderco in Rex 121 that you're fixing to see. If you can get the
Let me
camera.
make you big for 1 second.
Is that the club one, the Millie Club?
No.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I just
got
did
it
that.
good.
I just
They
did
can still
that to
cast.
a what was it? Was it K3? No. Oh, it was S110V. I had an S110V knife so I got well, actually, in fact, it was 4 sheets of Magnamax, and they were banded. And usually Niagara uses like vinyl bands, like real strong vinyl.
Yeah.
And it was night. It was freezing cold. I just wanted to. They were outside on a pallet, and I just wanted to undo them. And I was trying to do it. I thought it was the vinyl, but it was actually steel bands, and so that busted up my 110 edge.
Oh no.
Yeah, no big deal. Took me 40 seconds to regrind that.
Was it a paramilitary too? Or was it one you made? Is it 110? Or the
No, it was a Spyderco. What was it? Was it a PM2 or was it something else?
Only reason I said PM2 is I've got that Blurple PM2.
Yeah, I had one of those too until my wife put it through the dryer. It snapped.
It happens.
Yeah. What I don't. It might have been a paramilitary too, and just different. It could have been a PM2.
And it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's the reality of you have to give up something. I've learned from Kyle to get something, right? To get this property, you're giving up in essence a little bit of this property, unless steel's becoming more sophisticated than that.
Magna Cut probably wouldn't have chipped out like that. Most likely, could have chipped a little. At a minimum, it would have chipped less.
Do you think, and with the furnace situation we have going on now, these steels going away, do you think for us to achieve super high edge retention in the foreseeable future, do you think the tungsten carbide stuff is the answer, or?
No, that stuff's even worse.
Right. I thought so too, but
yeah,
I guess that's my question. Did we go too far with the Rex 121s and the 15Vs, and now we're just going to have to back up to something a little more
realistic?
Yeah, I mean, Rex 121 was never made to be a knife steel.
Right.
You know, it was made to be a drill bit. It was made to be between a cemented carbide, like tungsten carbide, and like a high-speed steel, like an M42 Cobalt.
Yeah.
So its properties sit kind of between there, because it is a lot tougher than cemented carbide. But it has what they call red hardness. In other words, it can get red hot and not lose its hardness.
Right.
So it has some properties that don't really matter for knives.
I thought it was really odd. Cabot, I don't know if you know who Cabot is, but they're a high-end 1911 manufacturer. Just a rich guy's toy brag firearm.
Careful.
Really. But they did a collaboration recently, and it came with, I forget the name of the company, Kyle will know, but it came with a tungsten carbide knife. And I was just shocked that was their choice, because the knives aren't very fancy or even really all that expensive. What's that knife company, Kyle?
Sanhedrin or Sandrin?
Sandrin, yeah.
Yeah, Sandrin.
Sandrin and
Actaforma or something like that, the Italian version, or the Italian company.
I thought it was odd that Cabot decided to, of all the high-end, fancy, pretty knives they could have collabed with, they collabed with Sandrin with a tungsten carbide knife.
There is a guy that lives right up the road from me, who supplies them Damascus. What is his name? He makes pattern Damascus, but more interesting, different sorts of patterns with faces and different stuff like that, and checkers.
Yeah.
What is his name? Oh man,
I'm about 20 minutes from Alabama Damascus, and I went and visited them I mean, that's some very old technology down there, but it's really it's cool to spend a few minutes and go down there and see how they're still doing it. Because it's all World War I era machinery. It's cool to watch, but
Yeah, this guy, he's all about the pattern stuff, and he puts different stuff in there. He's one of the originators of that style. He's one of the early ones.
so you're not
of
talking
that
about
style.
Larry's dad, though, right?
But
You're
Cabot
not
buys
talking
his steel and makes really high end 1911s with it.
Gary, is that gentleman like mid to late 80s? Because if so, I've seen an interview with the guy from
Yes.
Cab, and he's real old, has like a little barn he does it in.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's where Cabot gets their Damascus for their Damascus pistols.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh,
They
okay.
get it from him.
I got
yeah.
lost. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like $45,000.
Yeah, I mean, his Damascus, I've made a couple knives out of his Damascus. It's expensive.
Yeah.
And it's, it's not especially good steel, honestly, in terms of performance.
But it looks beautiful, I imagine.
It's an aesthetic thing.
It's for
That's
And,
not been my opinion about all Damascuses to this point. They are beautiful, but I don't know that there's a Damascus that rates up there as far as
Hello?
towards the top of being a quality
What
steel.
happened?
You're still here. Your camera froze.
Yeah, you're still here, Gary. It just happens from time to time that the cameras freeze on here.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, the freezer invert on you then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can still hear you when that happens. So
Gary, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
So, coming from a sharpener's perspective, and I'm sure you've dealt with this most of your life, I get tired of hearing everyone claim everything that has a decent HRC is chippy. And I think a lot of that's attributed to just burnt factory edges, and that a lot of that will go away after a couple of sharpenings. Your thoughts?
So when it comes to HRC, there are two ways an edge can fail. It can chip or it can roll. And, some manufacturers really run stuff at low hardness, and then it rolls, and people think that's better than chipping, but now that steel's fatigued and it's also failed. So chipping or rolling is bad news. Most steels achieve their best resistance to chipping or rolling roughly 2 points below their max. And depending on the steel, its max is going to be different. So for instance, like LC200N, 60 is about its max, so maybe 61. So, if you're running it a couple points below that at 59, you're probably at the maximum toughness for the edge to be chippy.
Fascinating.
So one of the reasons they chip, sometimes the edge is burnt because of how they sharpen it. That can be it. The other thing that I've run into with my blades sometimes, and I've had some chippy blades here and there, they get cut with a laser, and the perimeter gets a little bit fatigued where the laser hit it. And so if I sharpen it and get the apex like just beyond where the laser cut, the very apex there could end up being chippy. And I think most manufacturers are lasering their blades. Right. And so you got to sharpen through that. Now, normally we do sharpen through it, but sometimes, we just apex it and we don't get down into the fresher steel quite as much as we should the first time. So I think that's another reason it could be chippy. But high HRC, unless you're like, there's these guys, there's guys out there like, I know Big Brown Bear likes to run his blades at like the maximum possible hardness, and some other guys like to run them but they're not at their best at that maximum hardness.
And that's fascinating to know. I don't think a lot of the community knows that data point that you gave about 2 points below to make them really as hard for what they're intended to do, not roll and not chip. I think a lot of the people in the chat think, well, if that's what the chart says it should be, anything less is not delivering the best quality. And I agree. I think what you said is fascinating and insightful.
Well, Gary, what I was kind of, I appreciate all your comments. What I was getting as just the unfounded persistence of everyone thinking that every new knife steel is chippy because it runs harder than what previous steels used to. When it's in fact not the case most often, but it's either A, improper use, or B, burn edges are not sharpening correctly.
Yeah, it's like if you have 1095, well, that's not a good example. Let's say you had
Somebody clip that.
If you had, like, I'm trying to think of a better steel that's a little lower hardness, say 1084, and you ran it at its max hardness at, like, say 62 or something like that. That would be much more chippy at 62 or even 60 than MagnaCut would be at 62 or 63, because MagnaCut's a good bit sharper, tougher, or even 3V. So yeah, it has to do. HRC is not the only reason that it's chippy, and just because it's a modern steel doesn't mean it's chippy either. Some of these modern steels are extremely tough. Some of them are chippy though, like the ZDP 189, for instance. That's a pretty chippy type steel. The 110 S110V. Now, what's interesting about Magnamax that's coming out is that it's got edge retention about like S90V, which is to say pretty good. It would be above M390. It would be above 20 CV. So it's got pretty high edge retention for a stainless. That's almost as high as it gets without being whatever. It's highly corrosion resistant, and it has toughness about like a K390 or 10. It has it has toughness closer to like an S30V. Not quite as tough as MagnaCut, but a lot tougher than S90V. So I think you're going to be able to drop that edge angle and get really high performance out of it. I think it's a pretty exciting steel. I predict that it will be, MagnaCut hit at the time when COVID was going strong and people were going crazy buying knives online.
Yeah.
Like knife makers,
True.
companies, we could not make knives fast enough at that time. So it kind of had some, extra accelerant on it. But Magnamax is a better steel for like small knives and folders than MagnaCut. MagnaCut's good for like a bushcraft, a bigger knife, hard use knife. This is more edge retention, and most people actually mainly care about edge retention, even though they tell you they care about all these other things. They don't. They care about edge retention.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a big deal. I was graced with Niagara sold me 4 sheets of it. I've been trying to get. They gave me 1 sheet here and 1 sheet there, and this last version I have will be the release version of it. So it's not released yet.
Have you tried in the second batch yet?
I'm like so there was the first batch that CPM did.
Right.
Then there was a second batch that CPM did. I think I had a sheet of each of those. No, maybe I only had the sheet of the second batch that CPM did. And then what I have, actually, I got 1 sheet of Aerosteel version of Magnamax, and now I got 4 sheets, and they were from the same melt. There's a big batch of it on its way, and it's the same formula as the sheets that I got. So, like, that's the version they're going to release now, because the CPM ones were different.
Right. And from what I understand too, the protocol is still evolving a little bit via layering, and it potentially could get even better.
It could. So here's what's interesting. I heat treat. Okay, when you heat treat at a bigger heat treater, they charge you for each different steel. They're just like that.
Right.
So, but I call out the formula, like, so I want this temperature, and then a 6-bar quench, and the tempering and all that. So I spell that all out, but I run the MagnaCut and the MagnaMax the same at the same time. And what is interesting is that MagnaCut, this Aerosteel MagnaCut, is actually, I think, probably a little better than the CPM MagnaCut. Its heat treat response is a little different, but running those blades, and I've ran a number of them and tested a number of them. I have my own hardness tester, a real one. And MagnaCut with the same heat treat protocol is running about 2 points harder than MagnaMax. So this last version of MagnaCut I did is about 64 Rockwell, and the MagnaMax is 62 with the same protocol. So I don't know if Laren's trying to tweak it to get MagnaMax harder. I don't know, but I have I have the preliminary data sheet, and I asked him about it a few times. I'm like, hey man, I heat treated these both in the same batch, same oven, same everything, and I'm getting a different result. He's like, yep, that's what's expected. So it's responding, but it has much more carbide, so it's double MagnaCut's edge retention.
Yeah, I saw that he had potentially looked at going all the way up to like 65 before it started dropping. So it'd be interesting to see if that's what the breaking point of it is.
The first CPM batches had more carbon. And so I think he treated a little higher. But I don't think they were as corrosion resistant or as tough.
Right.
Is that Gary because of the way they were treated, or is that because the formulas of the powder metallurgy were a little bit different?
The formula is a little different.
Gotcha. Okay.
They were dialing in the formula.
Hopefully the protocol doesn't climb too high, because I have kind of a beginner's kiln, I guess you could say. And about 2050 is my max for maintaining, a constant temperature. But so I'm hoping it doesn't have to go above that to do the MagnaMax. But
it's gonna want 2150.
Is it?
I think there is a protocol for 2050. You're just not going to get quite as much hardness.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I may just not do it then.
Or send it out.
Well, you get some super hard MagnaCut, buddy.
Yeah.
I run the MagnaCut at 2150 too.
So I run the MagnaCut at 2050.
You can.
Yeah. Well, if the MagnaMax comes out as good at 2050 as the MagnaCut does, then I won't worry about it. But
you should test it, Shane, if you get a chance to get some and just see.
That's been an issue, and that's why I don't know if you realize how many, especially us small makers, how jealous we are of you, because it seems like you always get things first.
Well, he has relationships,
right?
buddy.
I understand. Yeah, I don't mean in a hateful kind of way. I'm just.
Well, I know. I'm just kind of breaking it out.
Oh, trust me, I have to bug them in order to get it.
Right.
Like,
I was introduced to you by Pete from Cedric and Ada.
Oh yeah.
I love how people almost tell you when it comes to any steel, if you want the finest version of it possible, then you get it from Creeley. He's
great.
Anytime there's a new steel, that's the first thing that crosses his mind is, well, I can't wait to have Creeley's version of it. So
I'm going to be sending him Aerosteel MagnaCut as well as some MagnaMax, some Aerosteel MagnaMax to see, because he's got the CPM version, so that'll be, I think, a very interesting comparison.
Right.
To see if there is a significant difference.
Right. Well, his cut tests, and a lot of the cut tests I've seen on MagnaCut, were outperforming S90V, but the majority of that was Brian Kim's heat treat, and they were 65.5. But Brian's very open about that. he'll tell you he doesn't put an ounce of concern into toughness. He just doesn't care. He's all about chasing the edge retention. So I'm wondering if the Magnamax with a custom heat treat, it sounded like it may outperform some of the Rex 121 or Maximet stuff like that with a production heat treat.
No.
You don't think so?
No, you're not, yeah, no. Because technically my heat treat is a production heat treat, honestly.
Well, but I'm talking about like, you say that, but then when, Case was one of the first people to release a knife in MagnaCut, and it was 58. And, it was garbage. So, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And people get an impression about a steel because of an experience with it. And just like you were talking about, M390 is, especially within the knife community, is avoided at this point because, your Chinese versions of it and your Chinese heat treats of it, it doesn't perform. So people have given up on it. I would still like to make knives in M390 or M398 just so that I can say I did. But nobody wants them now because China has flooded the market with horrible M390.
Yeah, well, the thing with China is sometimes it's not even M390.
Exactly.
We've been on this for a long time, Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to make a folder, and what I was thinking about was having the Chinese make the knife and then reblade it with an American blade. And it was interesting. I got a lot of mixed responses to that. People like, oh, it's not, I got more pushback than I might have thought. Now, this was a
from
group
of China or from customers?
From customers.
Okay.
Well, the funny thing was the Chinese didn't like that idea very much.
I bet.
They were like a little
because it would expose them, right?
Well, they're like, well, why don't you want our blade? And like, I don't trust a lot of that, and so I just think by blading it here, by putting a blade in here, I mean, I'd probably get the knife with a blade like 8CR or something like that,
right?
And then just pull it out and put a new blade in, and then eventually have an American machine shop and re-engineer the knife and have it all done.
That's brilliant. I mean, I think
the great thing is, Gary, is if you do like a bar lock, like Brian Kim's doing with his bitch-made reblades. There's no lock bar geometry.
That's what I was going to do. I was going to do an accent style lock because it's
I will tell you this though, the knife snobbery that's within this community, people are
very small. The numbers
already calling for the death of the bar lock. They're like, we don't want to see any more bar locks, but that's not the
real people. Those aren't the people that are buying the majority of your knives.
Right.
I like that. I like the T-bar lock just fine. I actually like Microtech's Ram lock even better.
Yeah.
I like it. Mine's been weird.
Spring, right?
It's really tactile. So what it does is the spring, rather than being an Omega spring, rather than being like an Omega spring in here like this, there's a rod this way, and then it's like a pen spring type of spring.
It goes around the rod.
Yeah, so it's
I've
a
got
little
a
different.
disassembly, Shane, if you want to check it out, how it's done.
Yeah.
Because it's the weird thing about mine is it developed lock stick. The lock stick went away, and then it developed it again. And I don't know if it has something to do with temperature and humidity, which it probably does. It's big for me, but I love the lock. I think the mechanism is fantastic.
I think this knife in particular, and this two-tone is just awesome.
Oh, that's beautiful. And the MSI?
Yeah, it's an MSI. I think this is one of the best bang for buck knives on the market.
Without a doubt.
You can get
How do you feel about the heat treat, though, Gary?
I haven't beat on this knife too much. I'm sure it's fine. You know,
Yeah, for most of 99% of, I think, most users use the heat
I mean,
treat.
I know Microtech's never set out to be the highest edge retention knife money can buy. I get that. And,
I've
if I
I've
were to own one, I would know that up front and wouldn't care.
I've bought two radically different, the Ramlock Stitch and my Gen 3 Ultratech with zero blade play. And out of the box, they're by far the sharpest knives in my collection. And my collection is extensive. They've
Well, I'll
been
tell you
the
what.
sharpest.
give me a minute. I'll go down and Rockwell test it. I'll tell you what it is.
You don't have to, but that's awesome.
That's making it happen right there.
John, don't you ever argue with me again. You hear me?
I'm
Ever.
not.
I
Hey,
won right then. That's it.
you got what you wanted. I'm just saying. I always play devil's advocate, Shane. I've got to look at both sides of the coin. That's
Johnny,
part of
it. Honestly has taken me a long time to understand that and respect it, because if you're not asking the questions or even posing an opposing opinion,
it helps you definitively
right?
explain the logic behind
just
why
explain
I'm
it.
flawed.
It's what drives me to prove you wrong. So
Right.
John, we need to get you some heavy duty splinters. I'm riding that fence so much.
Boink, boink, boinker. What's up, pimp? What's up,
It's taken me a
G-Ball?
while.
Coming over from Rumble. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Man, I think it's just so cool to have. I talked to Gary on the phone, and he gave me so much time, and wait till he talks about, if he decides to, about the people that he runs with. Because what I would say is, I would look at that shark lock. If he's thinking about a lock like that for his folder. I think for me, I love the Ram lock. My hand's a little bit short for the Ram lock, but that's a personal problem. But I think the shark lock is, out of those type of lockups, which I think are all pretty easy to maintain once you get the mechanism figured out. I think the shark lock wins, in my opinion.
Can we take guesses? Wait, before Gary goes, let's take guesses.
I'm gonna guess 59.
I'm going 60.2.
60.
Around 61 to 62.
Hey,
better than I thought they would be.
Absolutely.
Hey, that's strong.
That's M390, correct?
MK.
Yeah, MK.
Okay, so MK3 M390 is just M390.
Right. And I was being sarcastic about the MK part, but
now,
I can't get too crazy because Tony might want to sue.
Allegedly, so anytime you run a steel, when you do batches of steel, they're never exactly the same from batch to batch. There's variances.
Yeah.
And there's a spec, and there's some steels on the high part of that spec and the low part. And allegedly, they pick out a particular high spec on the carbon side or something like that.
Okay.
So, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I like that steel though. I've always liked M390, 20CV, 204P.
Yeah.
All those variants. I believe that was originally a Latrobe steel. Yeah. So, but I like that steel a lot. That's good. That's good edge retention. Like that's probably 25% better than MagnaCut at that same hardness. So, it's good. Yeah, you're giving up some toughness.
You can't convince anybody of that anymore, though, because they've had such poor edge retention out of their M390 knives. But those are the same people that you can't convince that it's not real M390. So it's a lose-lose conversation that I've been trying to have for years.
As much as I hate to admit it, there's a certain amount of hype that goes into the knife world and which steel you use.
Yeah.
And so I'm always interested in how these different steels perform, but I also realize that there's a business play there as well.
Absolutely.
you know, people, I can make knives in whatever, but why would I make a knife in 1095 when I can make a knife in MagnaCut or
Exactly.
MagnaMag?
Is Joe still here?
So why is Tops and all these other companies, even if they didn't want to step up to a high alloy steel, why I think they missed a golden opportunity to up the price by $50 a knife just from making it in Pro Cut.
But couldn't it be because their
using a lot
buyers are so used to that steel that the education level
I've
would
been using
take?
a lot of Laren's Pro Cut, and I'll tell you from a maker standpoint, it makes knife making enjoyable again. Like, because I've been using mostly, MagnaCut, S90V. So I tried this Pro Cut stuff, and it gives the Pro Cut removes so much time and labor that it gives you a more opportunity to slow down and concentrate on refinement and things like that. So it's been good for me. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but
I mean, I ran a sheet of Pro Cut. I made some bushcrafts out of it.
Yeah.
Pro Cut is a very nice carbon steel.
Yeah.
I would be just as happy with 52-100. I think it would probably have similar edge retention. But keep in mind the difference in edge retention between Pro Cut, 52-100, 1095, 8670, 5160, like all these different steels. It's all like, the best edge retention of all those steels is like being the thinnest kid at Fat Camp.
right.
And somebody like me who cuts open cat food
What
and
did you run
Amazon
your
packages
What'd you
will
run your
not
Pro
know.
Cut at, Gary?
I don't remember, 62, 63, something like that.
I ran mine at 65, and I've seen it as high as 67. And at 67, it outperformed most, Spyderco S30V in a cardboard cut test. Now, I know those aren't scientific. But I saw it cut 370 feet of cardboard at 67 HRC.
If you get that HRC high enough and the geometry's right, I mean, geometry plays a big part of that.
Oh, yeah.
Amen.
And then geometry also plays, when you have a higher toughness steel, and that was part of the theory with MagnaCut, with a higher toughness, I mean, you're approaching like 3V toughness in a stainless. Well, then you can run, rather than a 30-degree inclusive angle, you could run a 24-degree inclusive angle and, get some edge retention that way out of geometry as well. I don't know that a lot of people did that. Like Spyderco runs their knives and they run the edges they run on them, whether it's S30V or MagnaCut or S90V.
Are they all the same, Gary? Are they all
About 34 inclusive.
Okay, I didn't know. If
Is that right, Gary? About 34 inclusive?
I think that's what they run. That's about what I run.
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to ask Gary was, so one thing that people don't, I think, often take into consideration for even a pocket knife versus a fixed blade is that the edge stability and some of the toughness can change how you grind the knife as well and get better performance out of it.
Yeah. Now I remember what knife I had S110V in. It was a Mannix, an old Mannix.
I was going to guess that.
And it was a Tom Crine regrind.
Gotcha.
And so it was really thin behind the edge. So it was, yeah. But I sharpen on a machine that's sort of like a Tormek, but it's a commercial version.
Yeah.
And then I use my diamond emulsions on a leather wheel. So basically like an 800 grit, I apex it, get a burr. Maybe I'll flip the burr once or twice just to make sure, and then knock the burr off with, it's a relatively slow moving wheel. And then with the diamond compound on that leather wheel that's also jigged up. So it's not I'm not convexing it in that process. So, usually takes me 90 seconds to do that. And that'll probably get me a best score of around 100.
Wow.
Give or take, which is plenty sharp.
I've made things
That's
more
scary sharp, I would say.
even more complicated for myself, Gary, because and maybe I was incorrect, but I've often blamed factory edges on the fact that a lot of people are putting edges on with a belt. I don't sharpen my knives at all. I make them, I ship them to Kyle, and he hand sharpens everything. So they've never had a belt on them. Now, if I were as experienced as you and knew what I was doing, I wouldn't have as much of an issue with that. But I don't trust myself to belt sharpen my knives and not heat the edge. So I have him hand sharpen them all, and that's worked good for me so far. So that's what I continue to do. But it would be very handy if I could just put an edge on it 90 seconds and and do a good edge as you do. But I'm not capable of that.
Well, like anything else, like I said, I was doing it since I was 12.
Right.
But the other thing of it is, I'll have a stack of 30 knives.
Yeah.
You've got to get through them.
And so, you just learn. Now, actually, most of my knives are now sharpened by the guys that work for me, who are also sharpeners.
Todd, I did get my recipe from Steve, but I backed it off from 67 to 65 because I was using thinner stock. So because of the thinner stock, I wanted it a little tougher. And I don't think anybody's going to complain at 65. So.
Gary, if you don't mind me asking, how many gals you got working for Creeley Lays?
Just 2 guys right now, 2 part-time guys.
I got you.
My goal is to be able to make my primary income from knife making, which is really hard to do. But in order to do that, I think I need to make and sell about 2,000 knives a year. And I'm probably at around 500 or 600 right now. Maybe I'll approach 1,000 this year. Maybe I have 700 that I just got back from grinding. I got to pay those invoices too. But, and then I have these 4 sheets of Magna Max. And so I'm doing a few bushcraft knives. One I'm going to send to DBK.
Oh,
so
very cool.
That'll be a whole thing. So one of them's for DBK, and I've like a year back order on those folklores. And so what I'm going to do is email some of them and say, you guys have first dibs at the Magna Max, because the people that ordered a Magna Cut. So
if you happen to have,
they want Magna Max.
If you happen to have an inch wide strip and any length over 7 inches, hit me up. Because I make a small pocket fixed blade that's only an inch wide. I'd love a piece of Magna Max to make one out of, but I don't even know where to get it yet.
You can't. I have to beg them to give it to me.
Right. And I understand the way y'all have those knives cut. There's not an inch wide strip left over.
No, they nest all that, I'm sure.
I have a friend who's a slip joint maker, and I may cut. He gave me some CAD files. There may be some slip joint blades in the nest in a couple spots, but they're just small.
Yeah.
Shame.
I told him to get me the files the last time I ran it, and he just didn't. So I just didn't give him any. But this time, and I bought my own laser, so I'm lasering in house now. It's a cheap laser though.
Is it for your logos and for your blade steels, or is it for cutting?
I have a laser for that, but this is a laser for cutting.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of green when it comes to.
Gary, I'm assuming it's like CO2.
No, it's fiber.
Okay.
It's a fiber laser. It's 1,200 watts.
Nice.
The learning curve is significant to get it to cut nicely the way I want it. But I pay like $5 a blade to have them cut. This thing was like 20 grand. And so I've already cut out about 700 blades in it. I'm going to cut about 300 more. So.
And you can actually then take that piece of machinery and you can see how much it's going to save you over the course of its use.
Yeah. And it's not even just the straight savings. It's the fact that it's in-house and I don't have to send it out and I don't have to wait. So take, for instance, ProCut. I could have had a dozen Pro Cut knives at Blade Show, but I couldn't because the laser just didn't get them done. Laser shop.
Yeah, right. You weren't a priority to them, where if it was in your shop, you know you would have gotten them done because you're leaving the day after tomorrow. And by God, they're going to be with you.
Yeah. I could have definitely easily cut them. The fiber laser likes to cut stainless better. So, I got these. I tried to cut out these 270,000 folklore beasts, which is over a 1/4 inch. And it looked like a plasma cut. It just isn't powerful enough for that. So, and it requires oxygen. So, so I'm cutting, it's a fiber laser and nitrogen gas. And and it can cut a Mako out in like 11 seconds.
Wow. That's time savings, right? And you're getting the consistency and you're controlling the process because it's in front of you.
Yeah. Oh, it's huge. It's a huge benefit.
I would bet the logistics is probably the most stress relieving part, though, isn't it? Just removing.
Now, granted, I have a laser shop 2 miles down the road, so and that, but still, take it there, and you're on their schedule, and I'm not, one of their big clients, so
I looked at having Niagara laser cut some for me, and the price wasn't an issue, but at my size, for what little blanks I need cut out, he was just up front. He's like, man, you're going to keep getting bumped. He's like, if an order for 20 more knives than what you want comes in, we're going to do those first. He said, it may take a year before we get to your knives. And I'm glad he was honest about it. So I didn't, think I was going to have him back in 90 days and then it'd be a year. So that's what stopped me from going with the laser cut.
The key
Hey
is
guys, I'm going to have to shut out. Gary's nice to meet you, buddy.
Hey, good to meet you.
Ryan, take care, buddy.
See you, Ryan.
I'll send you a link to his knives.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
Gary, that's a knife enthusiast who just left there. He was a treat to walk through Blade Show with. We went to his first Blade Show with him, and he did it right. Wouldn't you say, Shane?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. He didn't leave himself much. Well, at least I thought he didn't leave himself much to aim for in the future. But there's so many makers now. There's so many makers now that that's not the case. But yeah, he bought all the stuff people want.
I'm sure he's going to be very interested in what you do.
Yeah.
I'm sending him the link right now, but y'all keep talking. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Shane, did you want me to show this thug or not?
Yeah, I mean, you can show him, but that's the knife I was talking about, Gary. It's just an inch
I'm going to make you big.
And I have a customer right now that I know for a fact would buy one in Magnamax if I had it. But I'll wait my turn, I guess. Hopefully one day it's coming.
So this big batch that's coming over is going to be the release.
It's beautiful.
Batch. Nice.
So you think I'll be able to get it from Alpha or Pops or somebody like that within the next few months then?
Your best bet would be get it straight from Niagara.
Okay.
Yeah. When they release
Niagara has the worst UI website I've ever experienced.
They've changed it a little bit. It's not as bad.
Okay. I'm just going to call. I ask at Blade Shows, can I just call and pay over the phone? They're like, sure. Because I can't.
Now it's expensive. Like those sheets, and it's cheaper in the sheet form than the bar form. Yeah. But that one sheet, 2 feet by 3 feet, was $1,800.
Yeah.
And I got 4 of them.
Yeah, I think the most expensive I bought a sheet of a stick of crewware. It was 3 feet long and 18, or no, it was 3/16 thick, 2 inches wide, and I get like 180. So I don't know what a 3 foot stick's going to cost me, but I got a couple of customers that I'm pretty sure will probably finance the stick. I'm just curious how much more it's going to be than MagnaCut.
Well, my first sheet of MagnaCut was $800. Now they're like $1,500.
Right.
Just doing some math here. Let's see. You said 1 inch bar?
Yeah. I mean, I typically buy 1.5 inches because most people don't have 1 inch bar, but just 1 inch, 3/16 thick, 3 feet long would be all I'd need on my first one.
So 3 feet. So 24 divided by 1.5 is 16 bars out of a sheet. Okay. And let's say the sheet's 2,000 at that.
130.
16.
Yeah, if it's under
Yeah.
200
Yeah,
bucks.
an inch and a half part. Now that's for 125.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd pay that.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Give or take.
Yeah.
An address was
Yeah, I had a guy finance some Damasteel for me to make him a knife. So haven't started on that yet.
Damasteel's
Dopey,
tough.
what's up, Dopey?
Damasteel's what?
It's tough to make a business model for Damasteel.
Yeah,
You got $300 in the steel.
right.
You know?
Yeah,
No,
that's before you make anything beautiful out of it
Right. Like,
or anything that'll cut. I guess the steel is beautiful in that case.
but it's going to perform like, it's going to perform like
Like
maybe
154.
154 cm.
But that's all right. Most of these guys in the chat, barring a handful, they all own a lot of super steels that they'll probably never need a second edge on.
I'm that guy.
They just want it because they think it's cool. And I love that because I own a lot of super steels that I'm never going to use, for what they were designed for.
Perfect example.
I think it's good for the knife industry, and it's good for people like you, Gary, that there are people that want a knife in a certain steel, but they really have no need for it. They just want it because it's in that steel. I think that's a large portion of what keeps people purchasing.
Guess who ordered a K390 Dragonfly from Warncliffe today through Blue Ridge?
Who? You?
Well, I did through Knives and More. It's in the cart.
Yeah.
And they placed the next order. I told them to go ahead and put that in there and I'd get it. Yeah. I'm going to get some scales for it.
I haven't found that I need anything with more edge retention than Rex 45.
I don't either. I don't need anything. The 440C is probably to cut through my cat food. And seriously, I mean, for me, I'm an urban knife guy, right? I like to cut cardboard. Well, I guess cardboard I know. But yeah, I'm not the guy who's getting that extra value out of that steel. I just like having it in my collection. Like I do my Venatus or however you pronounce that. I rarely use it. Don't know much about it. I just know it's different than some of my other steels in my collection.
So, Gary, do you know Pete? Like, are y'all on, or is he just a customer, or are you friends with Pete? I know he's in Australia, but
I chat with Pete on Instagram, every so often.
Okay.
So
I assume he gives you feedback, right?
Most of it's on the video. He doesn't, he'll give me some. He'll give me some, but the Rex 121 helped his channel a lot, and the Rex 121 helped my knife business a lot. So it was a very mutually beneficial sort of relationship.
Strategic partnership that won. That's perfect.
Because there are people out there, a lot of people out there, who buy a knife just because of something Pete said.
Oh yeah.
There are a lot of people out there that buy a Creeley knife because Erica was so head over heels about it. There's why is that funny? But
she was
yeah.
She was definitely over the top.
Yeah. Then the same way with a lot of budget stuff too. I spent the first 2 years of my knife collecting buying anything that Jared Neves talked about. If he said something positive about it, I sought it out. And I think it's cool that we're able to use this medium to get people to buy knives they probably don't need, in all honesty.
What'd you do with that life-size doll of him that you bought, that you had made for you? Do you have it in a closet somewhere?
I did not. But at the same time, this YouTube and social media machine, I think, has profited China more than it has anybody. That's why their knife industry has blown up the way it has. And I've just got a sour taste in my mouth about it because of, the resulting opinions on certain steels, because that's all people have experienced is a Chinese version, and now they think it's no good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The Chinese knives. There's so many of them. Many of them are really good in a number of ways.
Yeah.
But they just don't have for me. They tend to be a little soulless.
I agree.
And I hear that more than anything else. I feel it and I hear it. So your words are not coming from nowhere.
I wouldn't. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
But there's just something that doesn't excite me about the Chinese, even the really high end ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but you put a US blade in there. Now I guess Worksharp's kind of sort of doing something like that with their knife, but the thing is they're not clear about what's what.
Right.
Like,
the
I'd be clear.
transparency's not there for the buyer.
Yeah,
And,
like
and it's ugly as hell.
I
That's
bought
subjective.
one of those at Blade Show last year. I was able to get in and get one. I really liked it, but that magnesium with the button lock, the button's pretty sticky.
Yeah.
And I don't carry it much. I don't actually. It also kind of it locks closed, even when it's in manual mode.
The thing that
So
kind of bothered me about it was more not so much about the knife itself, but the way that it was released and presented. As far as like, here's a bunch of people that are going to promote it, and we're not going to say they're promoting it. We're just going to say they're showing it off. It's like, come on, man! Like, these people aren't flying out to Workshop just to show off your knife.
Right. It was a big splash. I don't know how they're doing now. It's a very fair price for what it was, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It was $140 or something, $150.
Yeah.
I mean, for a 3V, kind of semi-made in America kind of deal. That wasn't terrible. That wasn't terrible. I didn't love the knife. Like certain knife models I really like. For instance, I really like Dragonflies. I've had those on my key rings for years. I have a ZDP. I have a stainless clad ZDP Dragonfly that I've had a really long time. And then I have a Rex 45, I think, or 76, one of those.
That was
Dragonfly.
the first knife I bought when I started collecting again. After my college days was my Rex or my ZDP Dragonfly 2 that I just put titanium scales on. I love that little knife. And that's what's gotten me into now wanting to collect them.
Gary, I have this thing about steels, and maybe you can help explain it to me because I could never have this conversation with Larry. But when 15V came out, I was super excited about it. And then I got it, and the guy that sold it to me, I don't know if you know who he is, but he goes by Super Steel Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Clarey Customized. And Steve told me, he's like, I don't like it. And I was like, how come? He's like, it just don't feel sharp. He said, it's sharp, but it doesn't feel sharp. And that confused me. Then after having it for about a month, I realized I don't like it for the same reason. Like, it would shave hair, but when I touched my thumb to the edge, it never felt sharp. Now, on the other hand, Rex 45, which is not as high in edge retention steel, I love it because it always feels sharp. And I don't know what that is. I don't know how to scientifically explain that. But I was the same way with ZDP 189. They just don't have that bite, like when you touch them with your fingerprint and something in your brain tells you to stop before you bleed. Some steels that just don't feel that way to me, and I don't enjoy them because of it.
What were you sharpening them with? What was the sharpening progression?
Yeah, that's why I'm usually just to 600. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of sharpening.
But what was the abrasive used?
Exactly. I don't remember exactly. I'm sorry.
Sometimes what happens with these, especially high carbide, high vanadium carbide
Right.
blade steels is if you're not using a good like diamond abrasive, you end up, if you're using like an aluminum oxide or
All I
something.
use is diamond, but I will admit that I'm guilty of jumping from one grit pretty high to the next, and,
Well,
I,
that's
and
all
I
right.
know that's wrong, but
No, that's all
um,
right.
I was
Well,
usually
if you're using diamond, and how are you taking the burr off?
just on a leather strap with
What's on the leather strap?
diamond emulsion.
Diamond emulsion.
Yeah.
I mean, that should do it. I mean that should give you a pretty bitey edge. Sometimes, sometimes it depends on what grit you stop at with different steels. Like certain steels just like to get sharper than others, though. So, for
Right.
instance, I found that crewware likes to really get sharp.
I love crewware for that very reason.
It just loves getting it. ABL actually likes to get sharp.
Yeah.
And so there's just certain steels, D2 isn't as friendly to get sharp. Yeah, so, and some of it is, some of these steels work better at different edge angles also.
Yeah.
So, but all steels get sharp, and they all sometimes have their own little character to get there. One of the knives that I had as a kid that I learned to sharpen on was it was made in Japan. It was like a Texas toothpick, and it was a carbon steel. I used it. It's like that fishing knife. It's a bigger Texas toothpick. Like it has the scaler for the one blade, and the cutting blade is the other blade. Just two blades.
Yeah.
It was super thin edge geometry and super easy to sharpen. So, being a kid and learning, I was able to get that sharp really easily on I bet you it was like an aluminum oxide. It was one of those triple stones, like it had 3 stones on it. Like one was like a pretty coarse aluminum oxide, one was an Arkansas stone, and one was like a ceramic or something. And so the steel was just so easy to sharpen. You could sharpen on anything. Of course, modern steels, I would not have great luck with that approach.
Right.
But yeah, all that to say, sometimes the grit you choose, like you maybe stop at like a 400 grit on a knife like that, and then use the strop, take the burr off.
Yeah,
maybe
a lot of people will laugh at this. I stop at 240 on some of mine. I like a really toothy edge.
Yeah.
I sharpened a Medford today at 25 degrees per side, so 50 inclusive, and it was just a S35, and it wasn't one of his bigger knives. It was one of his thinner knives. It still took me an hour and a half. That's on a Veneve 240 grit Dragon stone.
I joke around. I don't want to sharpen anything. I don't want to use any sharpening device that doesn't have a motor attached to it.
You've evolved past that. I would say it's not that you don't want to use it. You've evolved past those tools.
Although, I went to we had a family friend in Arkansas, and we went to her house, and she had a bunch of pretty crappy cooking knives, but we were there for a little while, and I was going to end up doing some cooking. So I just had one of those Work Sharp field sharpener. I forget what it's called. Yeah. It's like a $40 yellow thing, and it's got
I've got one too.
On one side, diamond on another. It has little angle things at the end, and it has a leather little part. And I had my emulsions also. And with that little thing, I was able to sharpen like 10 or 12 of her knives pretty quickly with the diamond and bring them up to really high sharpness. Just, without the motor, without the normal stuff that I like to use. But, so it's just a skill like anything else. Some people can't cook meat.
Yeah.
My wife's one of those people.
Yeah.
And they can't get it right. It's either overcooked, or in her case, that's usually the deal. But a lot of people, they just can't. There's like a finesse to it. There's like a touch to it. Yeah. And when it's
that's why I let Kyle sharpen all mine. I don't have that touch.
Yeah. And so, you either have that touch or you don't. And if you do, you can get stuff pretty sharp with whatever you got. Yeah, it's just something. It's a feel you develop over time. But
It's a skill set, and some of us think of it kind of like Jedi supernatural powers when we see some of the edges.
it definitely is. Yeah.
John, I'm gonna jump off here so that y'all have a chance to talk about Creely Blades because I'm so anxious to pick his brain. I'm gonna keep the conversation to one track, so I'm gonna jump off and listen and be in the chat because if I don't, I won't shut up.
Dude, you're welcome anytime, brother.
Yeah, it was very interesting and
yeah, good to meet you.
Good to meet you. And I may reach out on Instagram or something sometime if I have some questions, but I appreciate it. So, all right. See y'all guys. I'll be in the chat.
See you, buddy. So talking about Creely, you got the shop out there and you pretty much announce your drops on IG, or do you just have them kind of scheduled out where they're like calendar, when you're going to drop knives days of the week? How do you bring those to the public?
So I haven't done a lot of drops per se.
Okay.
Like in that way, basically, like I have the Magnamax minnows in stock now.
Okay.
And so I didn't actually announce it. I took a picture of one and threw it on Instagram, but I didn't actually say these are on my store. You can buy them now.
And you just let people use this because your website's laid out. Your UXI, your user interface is very friendly. Unfortunately, my internet connection is just slow. So when I go here, this Magnamax with Kydex sheath, I can just buy one on the site.
Yeah, it takes me a week or two to deliver them, but
yeah. But understandable. So you might put a teaser on Instagram. But everything, it looks like you've got your merch. It looks like you've got almost everything here on the store.
Yeah. Different.
What is this? Oh, so that's right. You were telling me about your emulsions. Is Kyle gone? Is Kyle still gone? Kyle is without heat because of the ice storm up in Ohio. So he might have had to.
I'm back, but I am getting ready to take off because my room is freezing in here. I haven't been able to.
But you make emulsions now, right, Gary?
Yes, I do. I did not like what was on the market. I used it all the time. I used Gunny. I'm friends with Scott Gunn, and I used Gunny Juice. I liked it, and but the way it was carried was problematic. So it was either a pump and it was thin and it would fall off the strop, or it was a spray and it would overspray, and it's expensive,
right?
And so I developed my own that actually is in a leather conditioning lotion, and it's about the consistency of shampoo.
And it looks like you just got a little dropper tip on the end of it.
Yep, it's just a drop tip. It's so easy to use. I think it's really a great product, and I made it for myself, and now I'm selling it. Sharpening Supplies has it. Of course, you can buy it. You can buy it on my website, but you got to buy all three. But if you just want one grit or another grit, you can get that on Sharpening Supplies.
I got you. But so just basically keep an eye on the site. And that's where you can find stuff that's in stock, or you've got links to all your socials here.
I also have links to dealers. Because ultimately, for me to get to that 2,000 blades a year mark, well, there are guys that get there and beyond. Well, like Montana, for instance, on just selling off their own websites. But I think for the long run, it's going to be a combination of selling off my site and also
Partnering with good dealers.
Yeah.
And you did say when we talked that brick and mortars are also part of your long-term plan. You're not opposed
Yeah.
to brick and mortars.
And yeah, and a lot of these, so like DLT and Knife Center, obviously they're whatever. I got to take Fred off there because he went out of business. But Frayed and Lock, that's an interesting dealer up in Syracuse, New York.
Darts, knives, and security products. I've got to go there.
It's an interesting store. Sharpening supplies, of course, Edgeworks, and yeah. And so I don't want too many
And you
dealers.
got PVK and Razor Sharp AZ.
Yeah, PVK and Razor Sharp. PVK has a bunch of my blades, and they haven't sold off the site. They're minnows, but they're G10 scales, and that runs the price up like $30.
Gotcha, because you're doing 3D printed on a lot of these, right?
Yes.
Which I don't see any, as a user, I don't see any downside to that. But you say there's a toughness that you get with G10.
G10's a little stronger, but the printed stuff is stronger than wood. And I think it's a good feel, and it allows me to make the knife $30 cheaper. And it's, I'm interested in having knives that are affordable.
Correct.
Like, and some people will be like, could have fooled me.
No,
I have
no, yeah.
a minnow, like a Magnamax minnow, which is this. This is a Magnamax minnow. Is $200, but for Magnamax, from a company like mine, is sort of a small boutique, small batch production. Our hands are on that knife a fair amount before it goes out. So, yeah, I think,
and that's not anything to apologize for. This little knife that is just a flat ground 20 CV was $245. It's 5 inches.
Yeah. This is 5.25. The minnow is 5.25.
So a lot of people don't realize a small knife, even though you have a little less materials, you're spending a lot of times more effort and precision grinding it and getting it right. So it's kind of you don't get a lot of savings because it's a smaller
The
tool.
design gets a little more critical too. The small knife. And the reason why I did so many Magnamax in the small knife is because I only got one sheet of the steel, so I want to make as many knives as I can.
Because it gets so many to be tested and get so many out in the market. I think that's great.
The Mako. I don't know if I have a Mako here. I have a lot of minnows around me. I have a Mako. Yeah, here's a Mako.
I'm gonna make you big for 1 second.
So there's a minnow versus a Mako.
Gotcha.
And that, I don't know if it's going to focus for us. Yeah. Come on.
It shows the size. Is that about 7 inch in the Mako?
There it is. Yeah, about 7 inches is the Mako. 5 inches. The Mako is a drop point. The minnow is a clip point. It's a little different. This is from the first sheet of Magna Cut I have, which is the research smelt.
Oh,
it's cool, nostalgic.
Very much.
And I changed some things about how I'm selling them too. So they all came with leather in the pocket leather sheaths, but not everybody cared about that, and there was a fair number of people just wanted Kydex. So I'm selling them the way I'm selling both the Mako and the Minnow right now is they all just come with 3D printed scales and Kydex. Now I haven't put the scales available to buy on there yet, but you'll be able to buy scales, G10 scales if you want those. So you're going to get the 3D printed ones, but you can get G10, add them separate, and you can get the leather sheath and add that separate.
And they're both on your side. Oh, I see the leather
I
sheath.
haven't put the scales and the sheath on this site yet, but I
So
will.
the sheath on the side is not the Mako sheath. It's
I think I do have a Mako sheath.
yeah,
I
you got a
have it.
Mako sheath with ulti clip.
Yeah, I have the Mako sheath on there. I got to put the Minnow sheath on there separate. So you always just get the knife with the 3D printed in the Kydex. And then if you want the other stuff, you can add it. But it's brought the price of the Mako down. So the Mako was with G10 and leather, the Mako was $280, I think. But now, let's see, I can't even remember. Now it's is that G10? Oh, I haven't changed the Mako to the non G10 yet. But when I do, it's going to be like 210.
So you're able just to pass that along to the customer. And like you
Yeah.
say, a lot of times that Kydex sheath, a lot of us guys are going to have somebody like 1931 Leatherworks or Joe Lancelot Leather make a sheath, right? It's part of the customized process. So having it in Kydex makes sense a lot of times to the buyer too. Nothing against the sheaths that you're offering, but they just have a guide that they might want a sheath made from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think having that as an option is another smart business move.
Yeah. I see somebody in the comments says the NAF's Little Lulu is similar in looks and size to the Creeley blades. Yes, it is. There was a whole video on that. Yeah, that knife is very similar.
Too
Exactly.
scarily similar. I'm not familiar with. Let me pull it up. I got the Safe Lock store. I got to keep that up because I've got to browse that later. Hold on. NAF has always been. I like Ben, but I've never. It's just they've never attracted me that much. Let's see. Ooh,
They're just Chinese knives. They're OEM Chinese knives. Now the Little Lulu is a US knife.
See, I wouldn't think it looks. It to me it looks thinner and I can see. Yeah.
Oh, it's very similar. I did a picture with the two of them together.
Have you reached out? Is there any reason? Have you mentioned that to Ben?
Oh yeah, we had a conversation. We shot a video about it. You can look it up.
Oh, okay, I'll look it up. Is it on your channel?
It's on his.
Okay, I'm subscribed to yours. I'll find it.
Yeah, but so he's 194 with Magna Cut. That's right. That's right about. I have 3D printed scales. I think the Magna Cut version with the Kydex and the 3D printed scales is go back. I don't know my own prices.
Because you work with them every day.
Well, what I'm trying to, and I also have a lot of variants. That's why I'm trying to kind of make them a little more uniform.
I'm laughing because I must have found an old page. This must be his personal page. The video is, did I copy this knife? Savivi Cindy. So is it under NAF?
Yeah, if you put Lulu Minnow.
Okay. Let me just do that. Sorry.
Go
ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm bad.
Yeah, so I'm 180 for a Minnow. And he's 194 and he's sold out. I'm not. My handle's a little more chunky than his. His is thicker. My Kydex sheath is a lot more compact than that Kydex.
Was it just a minds thinking alike at the same time, or was it? Do you think he was impressed? I mean,
I don't think he intentionally copied it.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know. I mean, sometimes people can think similar thoughts, but I didn't know.
But this is so close that it's really striking.
Yeah, I watched the video. I'm
Yeah, watch the
looking.
video. You know, the long and short of it is this, though. Whether I take him at his word when he says he didn't copy it. But the fact of the matter is, it only made my knife more popular.
Right, right. I
You know,
mean,
it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt me. So, yeah.
no, it's just one of those things. I mean, I know it's happened to my buddy Edgy Blade Works. Him and Ben Belkin have these friendly fire type things from Jack Wolf knives. They've kind of, I guess you would say, Edgy's trolled Ben for years about making knives in China. Some of it's comical, some of it becomes a little combative, but they've had some knife design similarities that were, you wonder if they were created in a vacuum, right? It's just hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah. The yeah, it's I'm just not worried about, I'm just not worried about it.
Well, because you've got a strong plan without having to think about that periphery stuff that's not gonna, you're not gonna gain anything by worrying about it, and it just takes away from your focus
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
live it.
I wasn't bothered at all, other than to say, actually, it was a lot of my customers that came to me and were like, uh, hey, you're copying the little Lulu. I'm like, no, this has existed for 2 years, so I'm not copying anybody with that. And
No,
that,
yeah.
but a lot of it, and
Thanks, Thomas.
yeah, it was fine. It was no big deal, and it's a win-win. It's a win-win. Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Well, it's been such a pleasant surprise, and it is to. I want to be respectful of your time. You're welcome to hang as long as you like, but I've reached out to Gary today to talk about Friday Night Flicks, and he was like, "Well, I'm available tonight." I was like, "Buddy, I would love for you to jump on. You're free to." And the fact that you've come on and shared so much, I just want to be respectful of your time and let you know anytime you need to bounce, you just let us know, or more importantly, anything you want the audience to know about Creeley knives. And I think the value proposition and why I would want to buy a knife from you is very apparent. But is there anything that we might have left out that people need to know?
Well, it's I have a real particular design philosophy as it relates to making knives. I want to make them attainable and affordable. I want top available steel, good heat treat, good geometry. I want it to be a cutting tool. And I see a lot of knives, like the design philosophy. Here's a blank for a minnow. The design philosophy that if I don't need a line there, if I don't need a curve, one of my pet peeves, and this might get some people excited, but if I don't, like, jimping is like one of my pet peeves. Like, very few knives need jimping. It's just, it adds stress risers, and it's just, so, like, my designs are as straightforward as possible in terms of design, ergonomics, and no extra lines. Like, I'm not going to put a swedge on it or a false edge if I don't need it for it to do something, and those kinds of things. So not a lot of embellishment in that regard. So I want the most effective cutting tool, and so for, like, the minnow, at this size, this is about as much knife as you can do in this form factor, in this size. So that's sort of my design philosophy, and chasing the material science.
Right.
Magnamax, and it doesn't always have to be like the highest edge retention extreme steel. It can be, it can be, basic steels. Like, I have some ABL, and that beast I did is an 8670, which is a really simple carbon steel. So
What made that passion project for you. Being a steel that's, like you say, is not that unique, but what makes it more enjoyable?
The Beast, the
Yeah,
8670. So, Joe X did, he does his destruction videos
right.
on knives, and I saw some of his destruction videos, and uh, I just liked. I was amused by his test, and he was breaking just about every knife he got. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to design a knife that he would have a more difficult time breaking.
I think that's the greatest story, or one of the greatest stories ever. So I'm so glad you told that.
Yeah, so I designed. I was like, okay, I'm going to take a folklore, going to make it twice as thick. I'm going to put one of the toughest steels that you can put on it. I'm going to put a convex grind on it. I'm going to heat treat it and then temper it down further than I normally would. And so I did all these things, and he couldn't break it. And it's a fun video. I have a reaction video to his video on my site, on my YouTube. But yeah, it was it was a purpose designed knife. It's kind of a silly knife, if I'm
But that
entirely
tells
honest.
a lot about you, I think. I think that tells a lot about your philosophy in terms of pushing the material science in all of your designs. If something like that inspires you to take on a challenge, does that not affect your everyday design and trying to make a better tool or a tool that performs at this level or that level?
Well, it speaks to, what's the best steel. It's about the right steel for the right job. And so that was the right steel for the right job. And that knife for like 2 years was my best selling knife. And it's kind of silly. Uh, I mean, it's a 1/4 inch thick bushcraft knife.
People love stuff like that. We like it because, or I can speak for myself, because somebody actually made it and it's cool. I mean, a lot of us, a cool is more important than the tool if it's big and,
They are
overbuilt.
gratifying. I don't know if I have one in. I don't have one within reach, but they are gratifying. Just a goofy, stilly, thick.
To feel it, and you just feel like empowered maybe to go out and chop into a stump.
Yes, yes. And if you watch the tests he does, I mean, yeah, he puts it through a really difficult test.
I agree with you, Baird. I think that's the coolest story.
Yeah, it was a cool story. It was, and
Hey,
I'm
Vincent.
still surprised people still order it, but they do.
Well, because I think it's more than just getting your knives out there is part of the challenge. Keeping and turning customers into fans, into advocates is a different level. Your knives have to perform. You have to be responsive to issues that come up when they come up. And I think you do all those things kind of in an orchestrated fashion that work very well. And it seems like you've got plans to scale that same type of performance with your business plan, which I think is just inspiring.
Yeah, I hope to be able to do it. I enjoy it. It's a passion. I and just trying to build a business that can sustain in the knife business is fickle. The knife and it's even more fickle, I think, in the folding world. But uh, it's fickle enough in the fixed blade. But the other cool thing about making knives is legacy. Uh, I am I'm a pastor, and uh, one of the things in my church, I'm looking at developing a ministry, a men's ministry called uh, Brookside Legacy Men's Ministry. Brookside's the name of the church, and this whole idea that we have this sense of wanting to have some kind of legacy, and these knives that I make will outlast me. These will be around long after I'm gone. And so the idea of having that kind of legacy is interesting, and even being a knife maker and being able to create something that people are willing to give you money for um, is kind of an inspiring part to making knives. So it, it, it's a fun business, and yeah, and you're making practical tools that will outlive you. But the thing for me is Like, I'm not much into art knives. I appreciate them, but I want a functional tool that people are going to use. I don't want somebody
Right.
to buy my knife and sit in the closet.
Right.
So
You want it's kind of they're understated, but they're elegant in their function.
yeah,
In the fact that they performed the duty that they were drawn up by you to perform. And I think that's what's great about the knife longevity. It's not just the fact that you created something that someone's willing to give you money for. It's they're willing to give you money for it and the performance and use they get out of the tool that you created for a specific task for God knows how many years, right? Depending on how long they keep it and use it and maintain it. I just
yeah.
think it's I'm glad you're doing what you're doing, and I hope you continue to have fantastic success. You definitely deserve it.
Well, I hope so too. And just keeping up with the orders. The hand ground ones are about a year back. Now, the way it works is people order it. It's just a $35 down payment. And then once I get to it, I invoice. When it's done, I invoice for it. So
Balance, right.
it's not like a pre-sale, so to speak, that I'm holding people's money for all that time. But the thing with my knives is when non-knife people can grab it and use it and be like, wait, this is different than the $20 Walmart knife that I'm using, whether it's in the kitchen or whether it's a fixed blade. It's like, wait a minute, I used to have to sharpen this knife 2 or 3 times when I dressed the deer out, but now this easily did it without doing that. So like those kinds of things, like these things actually perform better. You're not paying extra money just for hype or just for whatever, that it's actually a functional tool.
Absolutely.
And that's and for me, a lot of my inspiration in knife making came from collecting Spydercos and all the different steels that they did over the years. And so
Thank you, Cody.
yeah, so that's like my a lot of my inspiration comes from that. Yeah, of like all these different steels that they're willing to try. And so yeah, they did that mule in Magnamax for $75. Dude, that was a screaming deal.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, like I mean, so Spyderco, if you look at their business model, in my mind,
Thanks, Richard.
they make most of their money on like the Tenacious and the stuff that they're selling in like Walmart and Dick's and all that kind of stuff. And like these, like the Rex 121 and that mule, they're not making much money on that. That's just passion project stuff.
Right.
So most of the profits coming from those big mainstream. But I was in Cabela's, and Cabela's doesn't sell Spyderco right now. Like, what are you guys doing? I go in and harass them. It's so hard for me. So I go to the knife counter and I hear them talking about knives, and I hear the guy like describing steels and these things. And it's just, I work so hard to keep my mouth shut. Wrong.
It's to hear you say that is refreshing, and it also shows what we all need to probably share information without being all knowledge sayers. Because I don't know if I told you, but I'm working part-time because I've been out of my corporate job for almost a couple of years, but I do part-time at a knife store, a local knife store here in North Alabama. And the conversations that I hear about, because we also offer a sharpening service amongst other things. We have a laser engraver and do tumbling, whatever. But the people that bring their knives in for constant sharpening, but they're not concerned about the different blade steels that we're getting on knives. Do you know that when I'm showing people, for example, bug outs and the different prices and the different blade steels, and I start to tell them the basic properties of S90V over LMAX, they glaze over. No, I mean, and I'm in a town of engineers, rocket scientists, and that are also knife enthusiasts, but there just don't seem to be have any metallurgical inspiration at all. It's to me, it's fascinating. I would think in the knife store you would hear more people say, "Hey, you don't have anything in LC200 or in, Rex 121." Or people talk about steels at all, know what MagnaCut is. If I asked 100 people what HRC was when they walked through the door, maybe 10 wouldn't be able to tell me. It's just bizarre to me. I find it eye-opening that I think we're in such a niche part of the community that we're exposed to things that the everyday guy that's looking for a tool that's going to feel good in their hand and cut what they need to cut doesn't necessarily think about.
Yeah, I think they just don't realize how much performance increase you can get going from, let's say, a buck knife in 420 HC versus a Spyderco in S90V.
Well,
and what a jump in performance. That, like on a cardboard test, you're talking 5, 6, 8 times as much cutting.
Right. And like Buck now is about to release a 110 Slim in MagnaCut. So I think the problem has been people in knife stores or people aren't doing a good job educating the buyer of new things coming into market and why. The value proposition for you, Mr. Owner, is you don't have to sharpen this as much or maintain it as much, whatever the capability or whatever the characteristic is of that steel. I don't think those conversations are being had that often. And it's not about changing what somebody wants. It's just about letting them know that there are options that exist.
Yeah, this is why this is $80 more.
Correct.
Because it's going to perform well. One of the funny things that I've noticed at knife shows is, guys bring $8,000 to a knife show, and that is not uncommon. Like, they literally come to Blade Show with $8,000 cash. Average people, they save all year, and they don't spend it all at my table, unfortunately. But and I'll ask these guys, like, they're looking at my chef's knives, and I'm like, so what are you using currently? Oh, I got a Wusthof, or I got, this or that. And I'm like, so you got tens of thousands of dollars in your knife collection, and you're using crap in your kitchen. That's super common. Spend some money on some kitchen knives.
Because you're using those more, right? I mean,
you use them a lot more.
Sure.
Yeah, I just made a breaker knife. I had, I don't know if you're familiar with the Benchmade Meat Crafter.
Yeah, we carry those.
So that's a good enough knife. I just made my version of it, which is a little bigger. I think a lot better ergonomically. And just so happens I happen to do it in 14C 28N. But yeah, I did not make that to market at all because it's a pain in the butt to grind. I made 5 of them, and 1 is for me, 2 is for the other guys that work for me, and the other 2 will sell. So, but yeah. So sometimes we make those kind of knives just because that was a missing knife in my kitchen collection in terms of one I made.
And you wanted it to exist. And I think that's if you put that kind of belief in one of your designs, if it's not too much trouble, which in this case, it sounds like it might not scale like your others, but you come up with a winning design.
Yeah, I think it's a nice, and if I have it ground, by Larkin or one of those, then that's a different thing. And then maybe it'd be worth it if people really want. I just don't know. People want to spend money in a breaker knife, but like, it's for like when I get a brisket and I have to trim it, or I don't know if you've had flat iron steak.
Yeah.
But like if you get the whole flat iron steak, that requires a fair amount of processing. Like you got to trim the fat. And you actually have to kind of fillet it because there's
cut it at an angle.
There's a silver skin in the middle through it. that you gotta, or there's a part you gotta cut out of it. So it's a really great steak. They're really great. Yeah, but anyway, needs to be trimmed up. Other pieces of meat that you get that need to be trimmed up. Just nice to have a knife like that you know I made myself. But yeah, so sometimes I make knives like that are just for me, and that's one of them.
That's good enough though. And you made a couple for your buddies too, and the people that help you
Yeah,
out, and
yeah,
couple to
yeah.
get rid of.
They should have decent knives in their kitchen.
Absolutely.
Then
Yeah, the Boink Boinker says the minnow looks great coming over from Rumble. It is a great little knife. That's the knife that I saw one of my customers brought it in, and that's what made me reach out to Creeley and say, "Hey man, you make really cool knives. Tell me about Magnamax." And I learned a ton.
yeah, and I did promise to send you some knives, and I don't know if
Oh, dude, no worries, no rush, no need. It's just I've
we
just
also talked about your shop dealing them. I don't.
yeah, that's what I want to. I want to get you in touch with Tate. He just had a surgery, pretty serious surgery, but he's back in the store now. And I think leading up to that, he hadn't been with the end of the year thinking about a lot besides that. But he's back now, and what I'll do is just get you guys together because he's very familiar with your knives. He
Does he
he
go to
saw the
Blade?
minnow and the Mako too when that customer came through.
Oh, okay. Does he go to Blade?
Yeah, he goes.
Just
He's
have
the
him stop by
buyer.
my table. You know, I've had a couple guys come by and ask about dealerships, and he may have stopped by and asked me once.
Little short. He looks. I think he's got some Korean in him, but he looks like a little short Weeble Asian guy. But he's not Asian, and he's not a Weeble, of course. But I'll probably be with him at Blade in June, and we'll definitely come by. I'll introduce you guys together because from what you and I've talked about, the model works fine. And what I've talked to them about and them looking at your knives, I think it's just a matter of having a conversation and seeing what your requirements are and things like that.
Yeah, and it's I want a handful of small dealers. I like Knife Center and DLT sold my knives. I didn't do Blade HQ. Just didn't get to that. But eventually, once I have enough knives that I can supply these guys, that'll be the goal. 2,000 knives a year is a lot. That's 40 a week.
That's a lot of knives. It is, but it's not without the realm of what people are consuming, and your knives are very consumable in terms of being, I think, highly functional and highly desirable. I think just from the comments I've seen, and that people will tell you I'm the worst at reading comments during a live because I have a hard enough time focusing, but everybody's very impressed by what they've seen on the site, and hopefully it'll lead to a little bit of a bump.
Somebody bought one while we were on here, so they might have seen it.
Cool.
Yeah. So
well, I appreciate you joining. And you're welcome anytime. I want you to and since you don't do drops, I guess it doesn't make as much sense. But if you ever have anything you want to share, or you'd like to come on and just hang out and share your knowledge, I'd love for you and Kyle to talk steels and stuff like that, because to me, that's where I learn a lot of what I learn. Just because he talks about things that I don't really know much about. I say on my channel, I'm a overviewer. I'm not the really reviewer guy. I do kind of show and tells of knives that I like, and that I carry, and that I use to open cat food. And I'm not going to downplay them on what they can do, but they're all kind of designed to do the same thing. I designed a little knife that Edgy American Blades made for me that we sell called the Fret, and it's just a little cardboard cutter, tall, Magna Cut, 64.5 HRC, super thin, little cardboard processor, cat food opener knife.
How much is
in my
that?
back pocket. This is $280 with the sheath, and this sheath is a little bit more bougie, but the leather sheath that it comes with is by 1931 Leatherworks and is exact same shape and pocket dropper sheath. It's just black and tan.
Nice.
That's what that one sells for.
Yeah.
Really small batch. I mean, they don't. it takes a while to get one of those. They don't stay in stock anywhere. They get ordered, and Edgy makes one. But he's still doing everything by hand. He's got a couple of people that he's going to hopefully at some point get some. And he might reach out to you about, some. I think his challenge is finding someone that he can work with the quantities that he's comfortable working with and still get some knives cut out.
Yeah. It's interesting. So for my bigger knives, I use JRE Industries. That's who does. Now he does a few people, most notably LT Wright's sheaths. So they're really nice bushcraft sheaths. But I'm really moving, especially for these smaller ones, to predominantly Kydex.
Are you able to make that in house, or do you have someone doing it for you?
I have that made. Yeah.
Okay.
The same guy that makes my scales, my G10 scales, makes the Kydex. He's one of the best Kydex guys in the industry.
Yeah. I mean, and people who do it well, there's no need to bring it in house if you've got a reliable source. And if he's already doing your scales, it's a no-brainer, right?
Yep. He does the G10 scales, and yeah, he just does great. He does a great job with it. They're a decent price. The big thing with Kydex is there's an upfront tooling cost, $2,000, give or take. So before you make one sheath, you got to pay $2,000
to do it right, to get like a form. And
yeah, they make a form out of aluminum, and then the sheet of Kydex goes on the form, and it might be 4 sheets, 6, 8, whatever they fit on the. And then they heat up the Kydex, they put it on there, it vacuums it down, holds it down till it cools, lets it up, and then they put that on the CNC and cut it all out.
I got you.
And so yeah, now the way they do it,
What's
like a
local
maker or like a in-house, is they'll heat up the Kydex, they'll fold it over, or they'll make just two and put it in like this foam and squeeze it and wait for it to cool. And each one is a one-off. Then you cut it up, cut it out, and trim and drill your holes. It's
more laborious and not as.
It's pretty labor intensive. Yeah. So
yeah, I've seen some guys do that on some shorts.
Yeah.
On the smaller makers, I guess, that are making their sheaths in house.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it's a lot less expensive than the leather. It's a lot less finicky. And because my scales are the same and my blades are the same, it fits really nice. And so, and the leather's available, and people can add that if they want that. But for everybody, like what I was doing before, everybody was paying for the leather. So
now you've got the choice, and most people are going to go with Kydex. Like you say, it's just a more
durable. And like for a minnow, I don't have one in Kydex here, but with a minnow, with that Kydex sheath, you just throw the whole thing in your pocket without a clip or anything. Just grab it.
That's what I love about that little knife. That little knife is just, and I love I don't want to say bulbous, but it's got a really unique bulbous handle that to me just filled the hand for such a small knife.
And that's specific. That's one of my design things, that style of handle.
Well, you nailed it, because it felt great on the Mako too. I mean, it's just a great feeling handle.
Yeah, I like it. All my knives have some manner of that. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of my design thing. So, well, hey, it was good catching up, and thanks for
Thank you for giving us so much time, Gary. I do appreciate it. And I know the audience appreciates it. And I'll tout your site and show off your stuff. I think it's really cool what you're doing, and wish you the best of luck. And know you got a platform here anytime you want to take advantage of it.
I appreciate it. I like just going around talking about knives. So, yeah.
Well, you've been a wealth of information, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, bud.
Have a good one.
Let yourself out, or do you want me to get you out?
Yeah, I can get out.
Okay.
Thanks,
brother. Well, guys, that was a treat. That was an unexpected Tuesday night treat to have Creeley Blades in here talking about what they do differently. And I'm in love with his knives. Slicey, using, MagnaCut, Magnamax. And like when we were on a store, we can go to a store now and I can dwell just a little bit longer. But the minnow's the first one I saw. And you guys know me, I've got a problem with little knives. And this is probably one of the coolest little knives because you can choose all these different handles, or you can go with G10. And that little handle just fills your hand. It's cool little knives, very cool little knives. And I'm glad that he came and hung. And I'm glad that you guys hung with me so long. I wasn't expecting Kyle to join us because he's up there freezing his butt off. And then Shane got in. But guys, I'm going to go get some dinner. I'm going to eat late. We're going to break it up. And I appreciate y'all coming. Hopefully y'all come see me Friday night flicks. I should have Jason's knife tomorrow, the Gripper V2. Hopefully he'll join us Friday night. But guys, thank you so much. Do me a favor. Look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart and choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.
Back in my bag, yo. Conscious. ISO. Diamond. Back in my bag and I gotta brag, I do this shit for real. When we was down and we had nothing, we had to share a meal. We put the shit in overdrive with no steering wheel. Shorty throw that thing back in a pair of heels. Yeah, she be riding on that thing like a Ferris wheel. Yeah, I love them dark skin, brown skin, caramel. You know I had to bring it to the hood.